card. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what the president posted on Truth Social as the government shutdown enters day 31.
Go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. Republican leaders in the Senate have already rejected that idea, but if you nuke the filibuster, the GOP can reopen the government on their own and bring to an end, among other things, flight delays, with more air traffic controllers calling out sick.
Well, that's Fox's Doug Luzader. Those sick outs are part of the reason why there have been thousands of those delays daily as those controllers continue to work without pay.
A lot of our people can go through the miss of one paycheck, and it's hard for them, but a lot of them can get through it. None of them can get through two paychecks.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy furloughed federal workers who aren't on the job in the shutdown haven't gotten any pay. As Republicans and Democrats remain in a stalemate over federal funding, millions of Americans who get food stamp assistance won't get that anymore starting tomorrow. Though states have sued the Trump administration trying to get a court to order contingency emergency funds be tapped into. Hurricane Melissa's been hitting Bermuda after causing at least 15 deaths in Jamaica, where the devastation's widespread, has hit one of the most powerful hurricanes ever when it hit Jamaica.
The State Department is asking the U.S. military to help with disaster relief in Jamaica and the Bahamas by providing air support for airlifts of food, water, and other supplies to remote areas cut off by Hurricane Melissa.
Well, that's Fox's Jared Halpern. There's also damage and a need for assistance in Cuba. After a scandal that's been a royal pain in Britain,
Prince Andrew will no longer be Prince Andrew. Buckingham Palace announcing that King Charles is beginning a formal process to remove his brother's remaining titles and evict him from his royal residence. It's continued fallout from Andrew's links to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, though the palace acknowledges that he continues to deny the allegations against him.
That's Fox's Lisa Brady, and the prince, now former prince, has never been charged. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms to apply.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry. Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los on a Friday, Halloween Friday, as Los takes his head off. Or actually, no, he's putting it back. It fits. Your headphones fit right up underneath there.
That's right. It's all planned because last year I made a terrible mistake.
Yes.
I had the Pickle Rick costume, and I had to broadcast with the microphone going into the costume in order to make it happen. But this time around.
This year.
Now, I gave you some grandma's cookies.
Because you were dressed up as?
Cookie Monster.
Let's go.
Yes, but that is, listen, I'm on the side stage. The main stage is one Tug Coward.
No, sir.
Who shocked me as I walked in the door today, and I went, oh my God, is that Navy Tug?
It is. How about this, man? Operations Specialist, Second Class SW, reporting for duty, sir.
You've got the USS South Carolina hat.
That's right.
And you have Coward U.S. Navy to go along with the Coward jacket.
Yeah.
That has all the places that you sailed to.
On this particular cruise, we went to 6 countries.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was a Mediterranean cruise. Went to France, Italy, Turkey, Israel, Greece, and I'm leaving Spain. Leaving that one out. But
you even found the other hat.
Dude, I found a Dixie cup. I brought a Dixie cup.
I love it.
Now, this is like old school, because the Navy kind of transitioned to ball caps with your dungarees. But before that, like in the 60s, it was all this with the Dixie cup.
All the classic photos feature that hat.
Yeah, and then they started transitioning to just a baseball cap for your command cap. But this uniform doesn't even exist anymore. They stopped wearing it about 2000, and now it's the BDUs that are like navy blue and gray, the camouflage look.
Didn't the Navy have like 17 different uniforms?
Yeah, we had a bunch, yes.
You're like the Oregon football of the service.
That's right. So many uniforms.
What's your home jersey look like?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We got like 17 of them.
That's right. It changes all the time. Yeah. So you had your dress blues. It's a really, really dark navy blue, and then the dress whites that was your typical uniform. You could always, it didn't matter what, it was seasonal, really. In the winter, it was dress blues. In the summer, it was dress whites.
It's like after Labor Day?
Yeah, kind of, yes.
Oh, y'all started that.
Yeah, we kind of did. Yeah, but you could always travel. It was always appropriate to travel in your dress blues. Didn't matter when. The dress whites were only during the summer.
Well, it's a sharp look.
Yeah, man.
I was going to say, you guys in the Marines were always like, okay,
Marines
well-dressed.
Dude, the Marines
The Marine Corps,
that's freaking such a cool uniform.
It's a great-looking uni.
But yeah, so I broke up. My wife couldn't believe it either. She was like, "Are you really going to wear all that in?" And I was like, "Yep, I'm going to."
All right, my first question. Did you stop anywhere before you got into the radio station?
I didn't.
Oh, what I would have paid. What I would have paid to have him walk into like a QT and have to just grab a little gas and some food. People look at him like, is he kidding?
That man's in the service.
Did he just get home? and how did they teleport him from 25 years ago?
That's exactly right. But I don't know that people know that the uniform's changed.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think most people would. Because this is such a classic look for such a long time for the Navy. It just, right about the time I got out is when they started easing into the BDU, the haze gray underway BDU.
Haze gray and underway. Those are cool too.
Yeah, those are cool. But I never had any of that stuff, so I have none of it.
Well, at this point, because we've participated, there's one man down the hall, our friend John Michaels. He had a Michael Myers mask on.
Okay.
And we got in. I go, how long are you going to be able to broadcast in that for? He goes, I can't even hear.
Yeah.
So
he peered in the window. I wasn't sure who it was.
So there's 3 in the building who've dressed up. Typically, it's like 1 or 2. I try and do it every year. It's now going to be on Kimmer. Like the ball's in your court.
Chance.
No,
not
please.
A chance.
Unless
he puts on the Marine uniform.
I mean, I think it'd be kind of awesome if he did.
He said he can still fit into it.
No, sure he can.
He said Neil Bortz challenged him one time, and he put it on at home and took a picture of it and sent it to Bortz.
All right, the gauntlet has been laid down.
Yeah.
I don't care if he dresses up as Rambo. Like, I just want to keep this streak going.
Dude, that'd be great.
Just no shirt on, red headband.
Yeah, and
it's just, what is it? Just whatever it is, the ammo belt that he has.
The ammo belt thing. Yeah, whatever that's called. I don't know what it's called, but
he actually brings in his AK. No, you don't understand. There's nothing in it.
Yeah,
it's empty.
There's nothing there's nothing in the chamber. I mean, we're good. We're good. Yeah, no, it'd be great. We'll see if he does. We'll issue the challenge. It's early. I bet he's up early listening. Kimmer, we have challenged you. Wear a Halloween costume or a military uniform that you still fit in, because you were bragging about that the other day during Picture Day. Because I told him, I actually, it's what gave me the idea about this. I brought it for Picture Day, just being silly, and never did anything with it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this thing together. Put it together.
Love it.
And so, yeah, good day, good start to the day. And Cookie Monster brought us cookies.
Maybe have a cookie or two.
That's right, Jeray.
We got a theme going here.
I like it, too. I like that idea. Yeah, we do. Absolutely right.
I can't bring the Cookie Monster costume and not have cookies.
No, I agree.
I mean, my plan is tonight. Now, my wife is complaining a little bit.
Already? It's early.
She's been sending me pictures of fire pits. She's like, if we're going to be outside, we're going to need a fire pit. Quite honestly, I would rather her just kind of bundle up a little bit, because my plan is I'm going to get out the Traeger tailgater.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Howard Brothers.
Yeah,
Thank you. Like every grill for like 12 years, I get at Howard Brothers.
There you
go. So I've got a tailgater. I was planning on wheeling it down to the street, and I was going to dress up in a hot dog costume and serve hot dogs
and airline bottles.
And
there you go. Yeah.
So the adults
You're going to win Halloween.
get a hot dog in an airline bottle, and we'll have candy as well on a table, and so you can select what you would like.
That is a grand slam setup.
It's a new neighborhood.
You got to do right.
And we've met a lot of people, but today is one of those days where we want to make sure that they go, those people over there do it right.
They've won Halloween.
We love Halloween.
They do not get tired of winning over there.
It's my favorite. This is my favorite thing we do all year long. Christmas
cool.
is great.
Yep.
Thanksgiving is great. I've always loved Halloween.
That's funny. Yeah. For me, definitely, it's Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving doesn't bring out your inner whore.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Whereas Halloween, Tug's like, I'm gonna let the here's the freak flag. Here we go.
I'm opening up.
I'm gonna open up a button on this.
Right, absolutely. As a matter of fact, this T-shirt is one of my real. It was a I got this issued from the Navy. I don't know how it.
And you held on to that too.
It's just a white T-shirt, but it is one that was issued by the Navy.
All right,
dude. So I'm telling you, like, this is legit.
Yeah, you are completely legit. You're almost head to toe. As you said, the pants are the one thing. Everything else is what it's supposed to be.
I don't believe I was going to get into those.
No,
and I don't know if I have any anyway. They're the bell bottom dungaree. Those were awesome because you could use them as flotation devices if you needed to.
I didn't know that.
Yes, you can. You can actually use the Dixie cup as a flotation device.
I didn't know that either.
Hold that thing, pop some,
Just get a little water in there and some air.
Get the air, flip it all up and then pop it on it, and just to keep you a little bit. There we go. Yes. Come on, I was waiting on it. Let's go. But I'm telling you, this is as close to in uniform actually as I've been in 25 years. Like, I thought about it coming in. I was like, oh my God. This feels very nostalgic.
Well, I'm glad that you did it.
It feels very nostalgic.
I'm hoping that the YouTube audience, as you find your way over and you're like in the chat going, these guys are some jokers, man.
Dude, what is the matter with these?
They actually dressed up for Halloween, and even Tug. I'm just glad you reached the point now where after 25 years, dress up for you is going back to wearing what you were wearing 25 years ago.
That's right, absolutely, dude. And I miss the Navy. I'm telling you, I loved the Navy. There was something about having a job that it didn't. I know I joke about cleaning toilets a lot, and I did. Everybody did. It wasn't just me, but everybody did. But there was just something about having a job that didn't matter what you were doing. If you were standing watch, if you were doing gun calls, whatever you're doing, you always felt like there was purpose behind it. There was meaning behind it. There was something bigger that you were working toward. And that was a terrific feeling always. Like, there was never a time that you didn't feel like you were doing something, even if it was cleaning a toilet.
I think some of the guys that I'm still the very closest to in my life are guys that I spent time with on teams.
Yeah, sure. And they're very similar, man.
Yeah.
So similar.
It's very different when you think about how every person on that naval ship has to be capable of taking care of somebody else if there's a fire. Like there's
the fire department.
You are the fire. They're not calling anybody. There's no help out at sea. It's just who's on that ship.
That's right.
And so I think there's such an awesome team aspect of it. That's why I've always been a fan of when you hear young people say, "Well, I've decided I'm not really sure if I want to go with college. I don't know if it's for me. I think I'm going to go into the military and I'm going to acquire these skills." And if you decide later that you want to go to school and maybe you're more mature, or maybe it makes more sense, or maybe the government's paying for it, great. But I wouldn't dissuade at this point with the current leadership anyone ever considering a life of service, or at least service coming out of high school.
Yeah, man. It was the best decision I ever made, and it's not even close. It set everything else that I've done in my entire life into motion. I mean, from meeting my wife, because I met her while I was in the service. Her cousin and I were stationed aboard USS South Carolina together. He introduced us. To being in communications in the military, getting out and landing my first job in radio in my hometown of Dalton, Georgia. I had zero experience. I mean, none. And, the little bitty radio station up there was like, you know what? We'll figure it out. We know you're well put together or well trained.
Well, if the U.S. government invested in you, what's the wrong idea in giving this guy a shot?
And in small towns, and maybe it's everywhere, but in my hometown, it meant a lot. Not only to me that they gave me the chance, but to them, like, they were so proud to bring on a veteran. You know, they thought that was a big deal. And there were days that would just sit with the guy that owned the radio stations and just talk about the Navy. He was like, "Tell me about this. You know, what'd you do? Where'd you go?" He was really fascinated by it. And I mean, I had to be able to speak clearly, you know, to communicate between ships and all those things. But I had no idea what I was doing. I'd listened to enough radio that I kind of had an idea of what they did just by hearing it I guess everybody did. But
yeah, I can emulate that, I hope.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. I literally just emulated the things that I heard because I had no idea what I was doing.
I think about
inflection and things like that when you're reading stories.
Sure. I think about the people that I've worked with, over, you and I have both been doing this now 20 plus years, and some of the most squared away were ex-military. I think about a guy like Tom Gribble who works in Dallas. Tom was part of initial Desert Storm. Like, he went back that far into the early 90s. And, I mean, you wouldn't know if you met him, but that dude was a warfighter.
Yeah.
Like, that dude had seen some combat. And when it came to organizing, running a show, it wasn't like he was a tyrant, but he was squared away. And so that was always that mentality. Crossed all the T's for that guy.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. And the Navy gave me the first opportunity to excel, or at least put me in a position to do it, right? I wasn't a great athlete. Like, you were a really good athlete. My son's a really good athlete. I didn't have that. I wanted it, but I didn't have it. I was just good enough to make the team and sit on the bench. They wouldn't even let me get up for foul balls or anything. Oh, we got that. You just stay right there. You're afraid you hurt yourself. No, but the Navy, they set you up like, if you want to excel, the opportunity is there. Like, they're like, take the bull by the horns, run with it. As far as you, like, this is an enlisted surface warfare specialist pen. That was, now it's pretty much everybody is required to get it. But when I was in the Navy, they weren't. I had it as an E3 because they're like, this is, we encourage everybody to do it. It's not required, but we want everybody to do it. So I was like, oh, well, let me get done. So they give you this big book and you go around the ship and you sit with every department and you have to have a good working knowledge of what each department did. So you could do the basic work of every single person on the ship, whatever it was. And we were a nuclear ship, so I had to go down into the reactors and had to get the little thing that measured how much radiation you picked up.
That's intimidating.
Yeah, a little bit. But I was an E3 and got it. I had to have this. My captain wrote out, there's a thing in the Navy called a chit. He wrote out this chit that said he is authorized to wear his Navy Surface Warfare Specialist pen because you were out of regs. You weren't supposed to wear it unless you're an E4 because most people didn't get it there. And I was an E3 and got it. So I had to keep this thing in my pocket for a little while.
Just in case
somebody was like, what are you doing? You're out of uniform, pal. I was like, oh, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Here's a note from the captain.
The captain says I am not. So, but it gave you the opportunity, to your point, about going in and finding, a good place to serve and learning good skills, especially now, knowing the trades are as important as they are. That's going to be who the next millionaires and billionaires are, is the tradesmen and tradeswomen. That was what I was able to do. And it said, dude, go get it. And you will be fine. You're going to do good. You're going to do better than everybody else if you're just willing to put this much effort forward.
Well, I'm just happy that a place like Dalton State tried to nab you 3 times. And every time you put your hand up to give him the Heisman, you're like,
get off of me.
No.
That's right.
I'm going to the Navy.
That's right. You better back off, don't you know? But
I'm dropping out again.
That's right. That's right. Everybody else is going, I don't think this is a good idea, dude. That's the 3rd time. You get a hat trick of dropout.
He came back.
Again.
And then he said no.
Again and again. No, for sure. But so much fun. And y'all are going to have so much fun this evening when you win Halloween in your neighborhood.
Trying to win Halloween.
So awesome.
Trying to bribe them with hot dogs.
Which I've not seen too many people that can't be persuaded with a hot dog.
It could be a giant fail. I mean, it is.
It's not going to be. No, it's not.
I'm just going to let you know. So I'm willing to say that from the start of our street to the end of our cul-de-sac is probably a good quarter mile, maybe a little bit more. So if you're willing to walk to the end of the street, this is your reward.
That's right.
Because it's a long walk to the end of the street.
I would imagine, because y'all's neighborhood is pretty big, that there will be cars that pull into the neighborhood and then, stop at the end of one street, and the kids just go and navigate all the way, all the houses, and then right back to the car, and then over to the next.
Because the problem is we have, because of a preservation area, there's a span of a good half of the street where there's no houses on the right side.
Oh, wow.
There's only houses on the left side.
Trying to picture that.
So if you're trick-or-treating our street and you get to me, it's because you're determined.
That's right.
There's a hot dog and an airline bottle waiting for you.
That's right. Ketchup, mustard, or nothing at all.
That's right. However you like it.
Whatever you want to do. The Medina home is where you need to go, because that's going to be the victory of the day. And it is finally Friday. Thank God it's Friday, Halloween Friday. 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. When we come back, Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer joins you to discuss the government shutdown and how to fix it.
Down the road, she's sitting on a radio and rocking on gold.
Neil Bortz is only live on Extra 1063, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Extra 1063 app.
Life is unpredictable, but when trouble comes, you need a team you can trust. At Ace Second Chance Bail Bonds, we've been helping families for nearly 20 years, providing fast, professional, and discreet service. With 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham, we're available 24/7 to get your loved one home, quick and with care. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call 404-BAIL-OUT, that's 404-BAIL-OUT, or visit atlbail.com today.
I'm Michelle Stovall, and our company has been family-owned and operated for 75 years. At Stovall & Company, we have everything you need to make your landscaping dreams come true. From premium mulch and topsoil to a wide variety of plants, trees, shrubs, and annuals, Stovall has it all. Check us out at StovallInc.com.
Feeling lucky? You should, because the Fan and Extra 1063's small business event is back. And this year, it's Casino Night. Thursday, November 20th, we're rolling out the tables, and your business needs to be in the game. When you grab a table sponsorship, you'll get mentions in all event promotion, a commercial schedule on the Fan and Extra, chips to play, and your shot at massive marketing prizes, including a $50,000 influencer endorsement campaign. That's $50 grand in exposure. And we've already given away over $1 million in free advertising through this event. Here's the best part. Every business wins something. So come play, eat, drink, and maybe walk away with a marketing jackpot heading into the holidays. It's the Fan and Extra Small Business Casino Night, November 20th. Don't just sit there. Email biz at 680thefan.com right now. That's BIZ at 680thefan.com. Sponsored going fast, and you do not want to miss this night.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
Donald Trump's America.
The government shutdown has put food assistance at risk for more than 40 million people, with the Agriculture Department warning funding for SNAP, the food stamp program, has run dry.
But my understanding is that funding is not going to continue, and there is nothing we can do about it.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins tells the Fox News Rundown from Washington podcast some states have already stopped distributing the benefits, and while some agencies are tapping reserve funding to pay employees, Rollins says that's not an option for USDA.
We've tapped that out. I mean, it was sort of a miracle that we even got to this point, to be honest with you.
But Democrats in Congress reject that argument and say there are contingencies to at least partially fund SNAP. More than 24 states, led by Democratic governors and attorneys general, are suing the Trump administration over suspending the program. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
One big player in the AI chatbot world is now banning kids from a wide range of its services. Character.ai will no longer allow minors to use its chatbots in an unrestricted fashion. The move is a response to growing concerns that kids interacting with artificial intelligence personalities are not given appropriate safety considerations. There have been reports of chatbots getting inappropriate with underage users. Character.ai is also the defendant in a lawsuit by a mother who claims the service's chatbots influenced her teenage son to take his own life. The company says it will use age verification to make sure only adults are able to have full access, and then starting in November, child users will be subjected to a 2-hour daily time limit. Further, they're developing new features for kids only, which focuses on content creation such as videos. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 31st. The Atlanta Community Food Bank is activating its crisis response plan as SNAP benefits will be paused this weekend due to the ongoing government shutdown. The food bank will draw from its $5 million emergency reserve to purchase over 6 million pounds of food to distribute in November. The food will go to over 700 food pantries around 29 counties in North Georgia. The Cobb Board of Commissioners voted to extend its current agreement with Must Ministries to provide a warming shelter this winter. The $108,000 allocation will help keep the Hope House operating through March. The Marietta-based nonprofit opens its warming shelter on nights when temperatures fall below 35 degrees. It also helps families with food, transportation, and workforce training. And Zoo Atlanta is getting some new guests. Olive the ostrich and Naomi the zebra will soon be a part of the zoo's African Savannah exhibit. Zoo Atlanta staff say the new animals will help socialize the current zoo residents. Today's weather sunny and clear for Halloween. We'll have a high of 63. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. We have a couple incredible guests this morning. A friend of the show, I would like to call Dr. Rich McCormick, a friend of the show since he's been on so many times.
We actually had the pleasure of voting for him.
That's right.
He represents our area.
That's right. Both Los and I live in his district, but we also have House Majority Whip Tom Emmer on the show with us this morning. How are you, gentlemen? How are you?
We're great, and we are ready to answer all questions and solve all problems for the great nation that we serve.
Goodness.
Amen.
I like this, man. We're coming out of the cave. We have some expectation this morning. This is great. I love it. I want to obviously start with the clearest thing that the topic of discussion. I just saw where NBC posted, Senate expresses new hope for stopping the shutdown. Look, I know y'all are in the House, but are y'all getting that indication from your colleagues in the Senate?
Well, certainly not from Ossoff or Warnock.
Yeah.
They haven't shown any indication they're going to vote the right way. I just talked to him at an event the other day, Senator Ossoff, and he indicated he was still resolute. But I would love to hear what they have as a plan to get out of the mess that they got us into.
Well, and I will just add, Rich and I and the rest of the Republicans in the House, we did the right thing on September 19th, well in advance of the September 30th deadline. We gave the Democrats literally what they asked for, a short-term, clean, nonpartisan CR. By the way, the same one they supported 6 months ago and the same one that they voted for 13 times under Joe Biden. And then what happened? It passed with a simple majority in the House. All the Republicans and one Democrat voted for it. All the other Dems voted no. Went over to the Senate, and you need 60 votes to get it through the Senate. We got 53 senators, so we need Democrats, and Chuck Schumer shut it down. Up till now, folks, I would tell you that from the whip's perspective, the vast majority of this country, thanks to our great president, Donald Trump, who managed to pay our troops last month, because of that, the vast majority of this country hasn't felt it or noticed the government shutdown. But that became real this week. And your two senators, Ossoff and Warnock, this is pathetic what they're doing. They're putting partisan politics ahead of this. I'm going to make a prediction. The prediction is this. They asked the American Federation of Government Employees to send them a letter on Monday. That's their off-ramp. 820,000 federal workers are saying, pass the clean CR. They're still holding off. Why? Because there are elections in Virginia, New Jersey, and other places next Tuesday. And because if you get past next Tuesday, you have the longest shutdown in history, and now you can go to your Marxist, Leninist base and tell them that you are the ones that fought the good fight, and now you can end the shutdown and get back to the table. It is pathetic. It's wrong. Air traffic controllers stop getting a check on Tuesday. You're going to have more federal employees who don't get paid today. You're going to have military not getting paid on, I think it's Friday, and then on Saturday. You've got, in your state alone, you've got 1.35 million SNAP enrollees that aren't going to get their benefits, guys, and that's because of John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock.
Gosh, somebody get him a cup of coffee because we need to wake up the whip. I just don't know.
That's awesome. We're joined by Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick, also with House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. And this is a compliment to both of you guys and a question as well. I have been very complimentary during this shutdown with what I believe the Republican Party has done so much better this time around. The messaging, the information that is going out to people as to why this is occurring, who is going to benefit from it, why is the Democrat Party having to fight the radical end of their party, how this is so much of an issue of what's going on with that. How important has it been for both of you guys to do as much media as possible to get out the message so that the American people understand? And we're seeing it in the polls, a lot of traction when it comes to independents and Republicans supporting what y'all are doing.
And that's the crux of the issue. I think most people realize that what the Democrats are asking for, they could not get when they had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Let's be very clear about that. They're asking for things in the minority that they could not vote for themselves. It's a ridiculous ask, and we all know it. As a matter of fact, it would be devastating to the American budget that we have right now. We're already massively in debt. The president has really done a good job with the tariffs, of bringing us back to some balance, but that's not going to do long term. We have to be much more responsible. And by the way, this Medicaid is supposed to be a state-run program. We keep on forgetting that. That's where the real responsibility is. States have a budget balance we don't have at the federal level. We continue to print money. It's going to put us in a big hurt locker into the future. But we've been able to message on the right things this time, show how the Democrats have no other straws to grasp. They're out of football field, and they need to just come to the table and get this done.
Well, and one of the things with the media for us has been we have to counter the outright lies that the Senate Minority Leader, soon to be former Senate Minority Leader, in the cartoon character known as Hakeem Jeffries in the House that they've been telling. I mean, these guys are just, I use the word which is more statesman-like, disingenuous, but they're bald-faced liars. I mean, they showed us, they try to tell you this is about health care. Well, they filed an alternative proposal in the Senate. It's about 60-some pages long, 66. People should take a look at that. One and a half pages of that 60-plus page document has to do with the enhanced premiums that Warnock and Ossoff keep complaining about. This has nothing to do with that. They want to subsidize Sesame Street in Iraq. They want to subsidize LGBTQ programs all around the globe and other nonsense that the American people voted out last November. They didn't listen then, and they're refusing to learn the lesson that they were taught last November.
And one more thing I want to add on this, too. When they talk about wanting to pay the troops or wanting to pay the necessary personnel to keep this nation running, whenever we brought it to the floor, guess what? The Senate would not vote on it when we passed it in the House. And then when the Senate brought it up, again, they would not pass it. This is the disingenuous purpose that the whip was just talking about. They have no intention of making this work. They created the problem, and they don't want to solve it. This is just to create the hurt on the American people to try to basically appease their base, which is absolutely Marxist now.
Keep in mind, Rich, your fraud named John Ossoff, he voted against it over and over again until he was given an opportunity to vote for it, and they let him vote for it because they knew they were taking it down, so he can now go home and say, well, I was against it before I was for it, and I'm for it.
And he's talking about basically paying the military troops, which a couple, Warnock and Ossoff, voted for, knowing that Schumer was holding the cards to the count. This is all by absolute design. They created this. This is theater, like the whip just said.
Well, but on top of that, as we're talking to Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer, they're using this as leverage. They're everything about this.
They were actually calling it leverage.
Three people. We had three different Democrats saying we have nothing. This is all we have, and people will hurt. Yeah, they will, but it's okay. We're willing to sacrifice.
But that's what's so disgusting. Chuck Schumer said a week ago, every day this gets better for us. Who is us, Chuck? Who's us? It's the American people that are getting hurt here. Chris Coons in the Senate said this is how we get our leverage. Catherine Clark The House Minority Whip, she doesn't do much. She's from Massachusetts. She said, of course people are going to get hurt. They're going to feel pain. But this is the only way we get our leverage. And that's what I think Rich and I and all of our colleagues are so frustrated by. This is not about Republicans and Democrats. This is about doing the right thing for the people who elected you to serve their best interests.
And when they talk about leverage, they're talking about, once again, getting something they couldn't pass when they're in the majority. And if we gave in to them, if we did, they would do this every single year, because then they'd be trained to basically put the people through pain so they could get what they couldn't get when they were in the majority. That's how horrible this is.
I got to add, guys, McCormick's one of the biggest spending hawks we have in our entire conference. He was not happy with the bill that we passed over the summer because he wanted to cut more. And we had to work with him back and forth, and we're going to cut more. But we told him this is the best. The president told him this is the best I can do right now. We'll take it the next step the next time we go around. In the meantime, we did cut record amounts out of the government's spending accounts. And guess what? These goofballs want $1.5 trillion in new spending. They want to put it all back in the cookie jar. And with that, they want to put illegals back on taxpayer-funded health care and gut that $50 billion rural health care fund, Rich, that you and I did with the president last July.
Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer are our guests on the Morning Extra. Another question for both of you gentlemen. I alluded to the polling, and CNN had it yesterday from Harry Etten. Plus 8 points with the Republican base is how they're reviewing the Republicans in Congress. Plus 12 when it comes to independents, how they're reviewing and looking at Republicans in Congress. So things are working out from that standpoint. The messaging is good. What is the off-ramp for the Democrats at this point? Because this now feels like, rather this just being a fight between Republicans and Democrats, this feels like more of a civil war on the Democrat side between their very Marxist end and the establishment portion of their party.
Well, I started off by telling you at first the off-ramp, because I think someone on their side asked for this. The American Federation of Government Employees, there are 1.4 million government federal employees in this country. This union represents 820,000. They sent a very carefully worded letter on Monday. It didn't say Republicans good, Democrats bad. It didn't do any of that. It just said pass the clean CR. And now we're going through this process. You probably saw John Thune. It's tough to get that tall drink of water from the Midwest angry. He was angry last night, telling them that they're not telling the truth. I think what you're going to see, that letter was the beginning of the end. You saw a ground stoppage in Newark yesterday that lasted an extended period of time. Air traffic controllers are going to continue to be the issue, but I believe these guys are so awful and they're so afraid of their violent, small, pro-terrorist wing of their party that they're going to wait until after next Tuesday in the elections before they do it. If they don't open it up after that, Rich and I think you and I are going to be dealing with this for a lot longer.
I sure hope not. I will say that this was kind of their gamble. They weren't getting anything done. They're only being obstructionist. They were becoming more and more unpopular, and basically the rest of the country basically saw them as flaccid. And so what were they going to do? They basically took the dice, they rolled them, they hoped that it would work out, and it's not. And they're going to suffer because of it, and so are we.
Are we going to have a do-over? Let's say the government is reopened and for whatever reason the Democrats finally come to the table, finally do what's right. Are we going to have a do-over in November, though? Isn't that's like the CR only takes us through the end of November, maybe a little bit of December? Are we getting a do-over, though, right before Christmas?
How do we avoid this scenario happening again so quickly?
Well, you don't. I mean, I think we've got to wait and see. First, if they ever come to the table to reopen our government, and that is Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats, including your own Warnock and Ossoff. If they actually do come to the table, and let's just hypothetically say they do it at the end of next week, and they open the government, you're right. The current CR goes through November 21st. They've already burned a month of time, right? That's not going to be enough time. You watch, if they do that, I would expect there will be an amendment to the CR with a new date. And to me, that'll be the next fight because I think Rich can affirm this. In our conference with our members, they hate continuing resolutions. Each one gets harder to pass because Republicans want to get back to regular order appropriations. That's where we were headed. We're not there. It's been broken for 30 years. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but that's where we were headed before the Democrats threw the sand in the gears with this ridiculous partisan shutdown. I would look for an amended CR with a date and the fight. The Democrats will want to do what they always do. They'll want to have a fight over Christmas, right? I just don't see our members agreeing to that. They will probably put a date somewhere beyond that date, and then it's going to be a struggle. Republicans do not like continuing resolutions.
No, I hate them, and I voted against them even at the great crucifixion that you'll get sometimes from the White House because they want to get things done. But I think we try to do the best we possibly can. We certainly don't want to freeze the government, especially when we're in control. So I have jumped on board with these CRs, which I hate. And the whip, ironically, before he was the whip and had to kind of get this thing through, he also was very much never voted for a CR. So CRs are hard to vote for. Sometimes they're the best thing you can get. But I tell you what, we have some really good bills we're still working on. Even right now, during the shutdown, we were working hard. We talked about the Incentivized Savings Act that we talked about earlier on your program. We're going to try to reinvent the way we go about this and try to train government to spend money in the appropriate way because the people understand how hard they work for that money and how much they pay into the government. They want to see results.
No question about it. Going to leave it here. I hope both of you will come back and join us again. I love the conversation. It's wonderful to talk to you both, Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. God bless you both. Thank you for your hard work.
Always a pleasure. Semper Fi, guys.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra and Extra 106.3, 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we come back, what it costs you to run the food stamps program. Next on the Morning Xtra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 31st. Your college football weekend for the locals begins tomorrow afternoon. Fifth-ranked Georgia is in Jacksonville for their yearly matchup with Florida. Florida is unranked this season. This time around, that game will kick off at 3:30. As for 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, they're on the road taking on a 4-4 NC State team. That game will kick off tomorrow evening at 7:30. You can hear that game live on our sister station and their brand new app, 680 The Fan. As for the World Series, it could end tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays lead the series 3-2 over the LA Dodgers. Game 6 will begin with first pitch in Toronto at 8 o'clock. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
You need a pre-owned car or truck.
But you don't need the headache of searching for one. Spending hours calling dealerships, then spending half the day filling out paperwork.
Come on.
You need the Honest Car Guy.
Hey, this is Tom from the Honest Car Guy. We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly. We guarantee each vehicle we sell will come with a copy of the bill of sale, showing what we paid for it. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1 or visit honestcarguy.com.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Talk Radio 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
This is Governor Brian Kemp. Georgians are used to affordable, reliable energy because of the good work of our Public Service Commission. And as your commissioner, Fitz Johnson secured a 3-year Georgia Power rate freeze and made sure our state's growth isn't hitting your wallet. Fitz is keeping rates down and money in your pocket and standing against Democrats who want hardworking Georgians to pay over $800 more per year. Keep Fitz Johnson in the fight by voting early or on Election Day, November the 4th.
Georgians First Leadership Committee paid for this ad.
It's October 31st, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is Halloween. The tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. People lighting bonfires, wearing costumes to ward off ghosts. Pope Gregory III designated November 1st to honor All Saints. It was incorporated into the tradition of Samhain the night before, known as All Hallows Eve and later Halloween. Also on this day in 1864, Congress says yes to Nevada, turning it into the 36th state. Dying on this day in 1926, master escape artist Harry Houdini. Born on this day in 1967 in Dallas, Texas, Robert Matthew Van Winkle. Known as Vanilla Ice, the song Ice Ice Baby became the first hip-hop track to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Need a break from all the political talk? Tune into Holy Crap It's Sports with Pete Davis every weekday at 5:20 on The Kimmer Show. It's your daily dose of what's hot in the sports world, from the field to the locker room, with Pete's unfiltered opinion and a side of laughs. It's smart, it's funny, it's sports with edge. Holy Crap It's Sports. Catch it at 5:15 only on The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on this Halloween. Los is set to win Halloween. He's all dressed up like the Cookie Monster, delivering Grandma's cookies this morning.
This is costume 1.
That's right, because you're going to switch to. Is it okay to say what you're switching to? You're going to be a hot dog.
Be a hot dog
and hand out hot dogs.
That's right.
I love it. This is genius right here.
The other fun part is that both daughters have lined out Halloween sleepovers.
Oh wow. Dude, you're going to have an active household.
We are well, here's the thing. They're sleeping out at other houses.
Oh, I thought you meant they're coming to your house. Okay,
so our house is going to become hey, if anybody wants to put the kids to bed, let's get after this thing.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
Are there any college football games tonight?
We do get one Friday night game. It's not a huge game of consequence, if I remember taking a look. We get one in the top 20. Memphis and Rice at 7 o'clock.
I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for Memphis because I love the city of Memphis.
Memphis.
That's right. And I love the King, and I've been to Graceland.
Yeah, 7-1. They got the big win last week.
Yeah, it's big time, man. There's
got the World Series though.
Yeah,
you got the World Series. So, well, but at Los's house, you'll have
we'll do multiples.
That's right.
we got what are we?
Can't hide money.
That's right. What are we gonna do? We're gonna watch this like we Poe? Come on, man. Let's do this the right way.
Well, when you come to my house, we sit the old flat screen that's like, I don't know, it's like this thick. You know, it's thicker than 2 encyclopedias stacked together. And you sit that thing on top of the grill. That's how we do it.
Okay.
That's red neck.
I've heard funny stories like that where there is a box TV out front.
Yeah.
Oh,
we call it a box TV.
I've just heard stories. You know who it was? It was a friend of mine who works down the hall. He said the first time he met his ex-wife's cousins, he goes, man, they are country.
love it.
I was like, how country are you talking? He goes, there was a box TV out on the front. That's how I was like, ooh.
I love it. Dude, I love country folks. They can't survive, so I hear. I want to talk to you about the expense of food stamps. And I think most people are in favor of a hand up, but it was never intended to be something that you lived on forever. And now, as of tomorrow, there will be that work requirement or volunteer requirement for any sort of handout.
20 hours a month.
Yeah. And, there's people pushing back like, are you kidding me?
Unless you're otherwise disabled or unable.
Sure. Or if you have kids under 14.
Yes.
But if your kids are 14 and above, dude, get out and volunteer or get out and do some sort of work. Get out and provide something to your community, to your neighborhood, to your country. This number is going to blow your mind. It started in, went back, and you'll hear from Matt Walsh in a second. He was breaking this down. In 2019, we were at about $4.5 billion for the food stamps program. And then, now, fast forward to 2025, the number has exploded.
From the Department of Agriculture, you can see their monthly food stamp spending was just $4.5 billion in December of 2019. By December 2022, thanks to a massive expansion by the Biden administration, food stamp spending was $11 billion per month. That's a lot of new artificially subsidized demand. And guess what? In that same period, grocery prices went up. By some estimates, food prices go up by 1% for every 12% increase in food stamp spending. In this case, we're looking at a percentage increase of nearly 150%. So you can do the math on that. It's more than a 10% increase in your grocery bill every single month. And what this means is that if you're a working American and you're not on food stamps, meaning you are a functional citizen who is taking care of yourself and your own family, you are a functional, contributing citizen. What that means is you are actually paying, against your will, for other people's groceries twice. You're paying when the government takes the money out of your paycheck, and then you're paying again every time you buy groceries for yourself.
Dude, that should piss everybody off to the point of boiling. Everybody's okay with giving a hand up. I think most people are sick of giving a handout, and you wonder why. Because Donald Trump campaigned on bringing down prices. It's impossible to bring down prices when things like this are happening.
The question becomes, all right, when you have this sort of expansion, as Matt Walsh puts it, when you're looking at 110% expansion of the spending, the amount of people that are now on that dole, how do you qualify for it? Are we talking just the people that are here illegally? Are we talking about that we've had a rise in destitution because of inflation and the fake economy that the Biden administration was running? Because if you tell me, hey, it's only legal citizens, people that are supposed to be here, and here's the reasons why, I'd say, man, we really need to get to work on this economy. We need to start making stuff again in this country. And I don't have a problem with a work requirement or a volunteer requirement until you get a chance to become part of that economy. But if you're telling me, and this is the fight, and this is the reason why we have a shutdown currently, if you're telling me that this money is going to people that aren't supposed to be here to start with, okay, now we got a problem. We got. I mean, it's a problem in general, but it's a matter of like, okay, what are we eliminating that's going to make us the cruel Republicans for trying to do so?
And I know you're going to call me cynical, but there's something that tells me there may be some fraud in this. There may be a little bit of fraud.
110% jump?
It's freaking nuts. There may be some fraud. And once you know, it's hard to back off of. Once you know what they did with USAID and that they would launder money to themselves through an NGO to do all kinds of things, including promote Democrat candidates. That's just one of the many things that happen. If you know that this number's $11 billion, how much of that is being done the same way? Call me cynical, but I don't believe that there's no fraud in this. Anything that's that big in the federal government has fraud everywhere.
All right, let me give you another note. It's something I saw a couple days ago, and I was like, I don't need to bring it to the show. But now it hits me I'm trying to arrange all this. It's like a Rubik's Cube. I'm just trying to figure it all out, all right? Give me more details, all right? I need more ingredients here to make this sauce.
Cookie.
That's right. So Adam Carolla was with Dr. Drew was like, oh man, it's like old school Love Line. Like they're together.
And back again.
And Adam Carolla had a point that he made on his show. And first off, I was like, okay, how can you verify that? But I guess they've got some data. And it pointed out this. When it comes to the average female who gets no free food from the government, no food stamps, no incentives, or anything else, in this country, the average weight is 146. When it comes to SNAP recipients, it's 211.
What?
Okay?
Holy cow.
That was a number he had based on the health of the country. Now, part of that points to two things. We do know that people that don't have the amount of income eat worse than people that do.
Right, because they eat cheap food like at McDonald's or
Absolutely, 100%.
That's not a slam at McDonald's.
That's not a slam. That is just, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But also when you go through some of the numbers, as Matt Walsh was talking about, the amount of money they're provided is significantly higher than what the average person spends at the grocery store on a monthly. I'm willing to say that their food cabinet is going to be significantly larger than somebody who is, I would say, of the same home, of the same means, but one of them's drawing government assistance and one of them is not. And the person with government assistance is going to have consistently more in their pantry than the person who's not.
And I wonder what they're buying too, right? What is it? Are they buying junk food to keep the in the pantry? They're choosing not to buy something healthy. And I've seen that pop up on social media a million times. People are like, well, my kids need cookies. And I'm not saying kids shouldn't have a cookie every now and then. We got the Cookie Monster in the studio, for heaven's sakes. But at the same time, there's be some sort of, and Jure brought it up, like Coca-Cola, the amount of money that Coca-Cola benefits from because of food stamp programs, because of these type of programs that we have in the country.
There's a visual joke that was making the rounds. You see this image when it says two types of shoppers?
The cart that's full
says no job.
And the one that's sparse
says job.
Yes, which is the truth.
It's like, got to be more selective.
That's right.
The person who's receiving government benefits,
they're always coming in, man. There's no stopping.
Keeps coming.
Just go to the mailbox.
Yeah. What should we eat?
That's right.
Fruit or cookie?
Genius. That's genius right there. What should we eat, fruit or cookies? Cookies. Come on. Every kid's going to say that. Oh, Lord. This is the Morning Extra when we come back after joining you on the Morning Extra. Majority Whip Tom Emmer went to the House floor and just lit up the Democrats.
He just got warmed up with us.
Dude, and he was. You heard Rich McCormick say, let's get that guy a cup of coffee. Goodness. Next on Extra.
President Trump is restoring freedom, bringing justice back to America, and restoring power to the people. And the conservative voice of Atlanta has his back and will always bring you the national and local voices you need when it matters most. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Braves Country Convos is the newest official podcast of the Atlanta Braves. Join hosts Jory Palmer and Lauren Saad for some fun, lighthearted, and unexpected discussions as they interview guests with strong Braves country ties about the things that connect us all. Guests range from Braves alumni Charlie Culberson, MLB Network's Lauren Shahadi, and more. Visit Braves.com/podcast to begin listening to Season 1 wherever you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
The year-end savings continue at Aikens Ford & Winder with $10,000 off MSRP on select 2025 Ford Super Duty F-250 and F-350 diesel pickups. This includes Platinum, King Ranch, and Lariat models. Hi, this is Brad Aikens, and now through October 31st, take $10,000 off MSRP on over 50 select 2025 Ford Super Duty F-250 and F-350 single rear wheel diesel crew cab pickups. Whether it's for personal or business use, this is a great deal. So come get $10,000 off MSRP on your 2025 Ford Super Duty F-250 or F-350 diesel pickup today from the largest retail Ford F-Series pickup dealer in the country, Aikens Ford & Winder, just 25 minutes east of the Mall of Georgia on Highway 29. Stock number 92054, MSRP $83,268, sale price $73,268. Approved financing in your 1995 or newer trade. Dealer retains factory rebates plus government fees. See dealer for details. F-Series claim based off 2024 Ford retail sales report. See these Super Duty diesel pickups today at AikensFord.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Extra 106.3 is live on your ride home with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder from 3 to 6 p.m.
Mike the engineer found that for the first time in 10 years, despite Al Gore and Leo DiCaprio and Bill Nye the non-science guy, and all the climate change alarmists caterwauling, no hurricane landed on the shores of America, which proves President Donald Trump has completely secured our border.
The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and The Kimmer Show on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
It's time for the nuclear option. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump posted on Truth Social, calling on the Senate to get rid of the filibuster, which has allowed Democrats to block federal funding demanding health care provisions be added. So now the government shutdown is in day 31.
That would allow Senate Republicans to reopen the government on their own, even though Senate leaders generally don't like the idea of ending the filibuster. But pressure is mounting. Troops are getting paid today after the Pentagon shifted some funds around, but federal SNAP benefits run out this weekend.
That's Fox's Doug Luzider. And halting federal food stamp assistance starting tomorrow would affect more than 40 million Americans. Several states have gone to court to force the Trump administration to tap into contingency emergency funds for that program. Some federal workers who still have to work in the shutdown, like air traffic controllers, are not getting paid, and that has led to a lot of sick outs. A big factor in more than 20,000 flight delays this week.
Well, the chaos prompting Delta Airlines to issue this statement demanding an end to the shutdown. Quote, Delta Airlines implores Congress to immediately pass a clean continuing resolution to reopen the government so that our air traffic controllers, TSA, and CBP officers charged with the safety and efficiency of our national airspace can collect the paychecks they deserve.
Fox's Chanley Painter. Unrelated to that, a scare in the air on a JetBlue flight from Mexico to New Jersey. The plane dropped yesterday afternoon, losing altitude fast, injuring more than a dozen passengers, prompting an emergency landing in Tampa, Florida. Hamas's handover remains that, unlike some others recently, were actually dead hostages, 2 of them.
They were given to the Red Cross in Gaza and transported into Israel by troops. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office says the remains are confirmed to be those of Saha Baruch and Amram Cooper, both taken hostage during the October 7th Hamas attack, which set off the war.
That's Fox's Lily Wu. Hamas still has to turn over 11 more dead hostages in the ceasefire agreement. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms to apply.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It took 100 years, but finally there's a conservative voice you can trust. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Happy Halloween to you.
Gotta get my helmet on.
That's right.
My blue Cookie Monster helmet.
You didn't realize that the Cookie Monster was driving you to work this morning.
That's right.
He is.
That and the captain.
That's right. I put on the Old Navy uniform. First time I've worn this since 2000. I got out in January of 2000, January 16th, 2000.
Think about that. Good for Tug. 25 years later, you're like, I can still put this thing on if I need to.
Yeah. This is the old dungarees here. I'm not convinced that I could get into my dress blues, though. I don't think that would happen. Those I got those issued in boot camp.
Yeah. That was like 18, 19-year-old Tug.
Exactly. That's
different.
That's like a 29 waist, and I'm probably like a 33.
Okay, well, just what it is.
32, 33 now. So, yeah, I don't think I get those on. But the old dungaree shirt worked well, and I brought in like a USS South Carolina ball cap, which the Navy had kind of transitioned to in the 90s away from the Dixie Cup with dungarees, and now they've transitioned away from dungarees altogether. This uniform hadn't been worn by the Navy in 25 years since about the time I got out. But I did bring a Dixie Cup. And
it looks awesome.
Dude, it's so... I hadn't seen this thing in forever. It was in the basement.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I turned the corner, and I was so impressed. Because there was a moment of, did he go buy that? And then I saw Coward. And then I saw your jacket with your last name. And I was like, he dug up his old stuff. It's
that
awesome.
jacket is sweet.
Yeah.
It's Med Cruise 97, 98. And there's a couple guys that live in town that we still connect at ball games every once in a while, run into each other. Matter of fact, the Friday night that my son, so last Friday night, a week ago, or it was Saturday when we went, Saturday when we went to the Hawks game, a dude comes tapping me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and it was a guy I served aboard USS South Carolina with.
That's cool.
He is in the DeKalb County school system now. He runs like the charter schools, named Brian Merritt, the greatest guy in the world. And I hadn't seen him in probably 26 or 27 years.
And then you told him, hey, next week, I'm putting the uniform back on.
I hadn't even thought of it at that point, but yes, he would have.
Why don't you get ready too, sailor?
Yeah.
Let's do this together.
It took me, you ever run into somebody that you haven't seen in that length of time?
Yeah.
And it just takes a split second.
There's a split moment before it's a flood of memories, and
absolutely,
oh, man.
And that's what it was. We were sitting there in State Farm, get the tap on the shoulder, and I'm like, hey, dude. And then all of a sudden it hit, and I was like, oh, my God. Dude, it's so good to see you. And, you talk like it was just yesterday.
It's been a couple of years since I did it's the Texas Wesleyan Alumni Charity Golf Tournament, where there's a charity portion and there's an alumni portion.
So good.
And I saw my college catcher for the first time in probably about 20 years. And first off, like the hugs started and everything else. And then the memories of that guy I've never seen somebody get hit in the lower regions more times for pitchers.
Poor fella.
And now he's got like 4 kids. So it's like, we're not talking long-term damage.
Yeah, it worked out.
But he was the guy, and we joked around about it quite a bit. He would make the sign for a curveball, call for 2, and he would rub the dirt with it, which meant put it in the dirt.
Yeah.
And you trusted him no matter what. That
he's going to block it.
He's going to block it. And oftentimes you would hear that cup, and you just thought, oh, that's going to be a bad day for him the rest of the day.
He's going to be bruised.
That's what we were laughing about. Things like that you remember.
He's going to be bruised
I was like, I was like, he's not going to eat for a while.
Oh, my gosh, man. We were awful in the Navy. There, we probably talked about things we weren't supposed to, and we were young and stupid and did some crazy things. But someone shared with me recently this picture of almost all the guys in our division before we'd pulled into port wherever we were, and we were going to do a big softball tournament, each division versus the other. And somebody had I can't even believe I'm telling you this. It's so awful, but so perfect for young people being knuckleheads. So we went out and we didn't have a team name. They're like, "Well, you're going to be OI division," because we were Operations Intel division, and one of our buddies was like, "No, we're not. We're going to be the Friends of Bill W." I'm like,
what?
We're going to be what now? The Friends of Bill W. So we all took these T-shirts like I'm wearing under here, and we wrote Friends of Bill. It was the AA group on board the ship. And they're like, when we got out there, they're like, you guys are so low down. That's filthy dirty. Y'all are awful. Awful, I tell you.
That is...
And that's what we did. But that's the kind of
that's
crap
the kind of comedy that you do amongst each other.
When you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and anything you can do to get a rise out of somebody.
I just want you to think back. Now, I don't even think I can bring it up on the air, but I'll just say this. There was a term that me and the other 13 freshmen that came into the program together, no matter what you were asking if somebody had something on them, you called it these 2 words. The first one starts with but.
Okay.
And it got to the point where when the coaches got angry at us, they would yell at us about, all you guys talk about is this. And he was right.
But that's the thing, man. You just
have little things you say to each other.
You do it just to get a rise, and you do it because it's irreverent. You do it because it's awful.
The other word was sex.
I like that he separated them by a few minutes.
What's up, Carline? So, yeah, the coaches would get upset at us because they would be like, all you guys talk about is...
Yes, that's right. I'm trying to find this picture. I want you to see it. We just look like a bunch of young knuckleheads.
Like if you had something in a folder for a class and I wanted to take a look at it, I would ask you if I could see your...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
It was the term for everything.
Yeah.
If you were in the student union building and you were having a Quiznos, you would ask if you had gotten this on it.
Yeah, dude, look at this picture. And I'll show it to YouTube. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is us playing.
Okay, hoops on the ship.
Yeah, right. But if you notice, the basketball is silver.
Yes.
Because every time they would order basketballs, they would end up in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to make our own basketballs out of tape.
Ah, okay.
We would take like garbage, sometimes just, paper towels or whatever, and we would start and make a ball. And the rule was you could take one step forward or, 2 or 3 steps back. But only one step forward, you have to shoot or pass. You had to make modified rules.
Then you had to play Mr. Go-Getter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah. Fish it out of the Persian Gulf.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. You'd never get the ball, man. And
it's gone.
Whoever was responsible got called the worst names ever. They're like, "You're such an idiot,"
Well, at that point, it belongs to the ocean or some kid in Africa or Australia.
Yeah,
it just depends on where it
ends up on shore. But we lost so many, and finally the supply officer was just like, "Yeah, we're not ordering anymore. Y'all can figure it out. You've already lost 50." But I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're just. What are you going to do?
Got to figure out something.
That's right. If it bounces off somebody's foot or a missed pass and
it's in the ocean.
It's ended up in the Mediterranean somewhere. These little kids off the coast of Morocco just found them a new basketball.
Well, I see the USS South Carolina is in town.
Exactly.
Awesome.
There's a row of basketballs. These guys suck.
These guys are terrible.
These guys are awful. In an aircraft carrier, there's a little more room. On the small boys, there's not that much room. It was literally the missile mount. There was a missile mount that was to the left of us, so we would play in front of that, up against the superstructure, and then above the hoop, I don't know if you can see it in that picture, but above the hoop are the 5-inch guns. So, I mean, you're literally playing between weapons of war.
Kind of cool.
It is really cool.
Kind of cool.
Looking back, it's really cool. I don't know why they trusted us with any of that. I wouldn't have trusted me with any of it. But here we are. Yesterday, we got Tom Emmer on with Rich McCormick, and it was so cool because he was on fire, Los. When I thought it was great because the first thing he opened his mouth, he was like, "Those low down, no good for nothing senators y'all got down there in Georgia," and Dr. McCormick's like, "Got to get this guy a cup of coffee, get him ramped up.
Got to ramp him up a little bit.
He's gonna come out of his shell."
He's an old hockey player.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and
I just didn't know he was that animated. He was ready to go.
Do you suppose they picked him because of that? Because I don't know what goes into that decision, obviously.
I have to imagine when we talk about the new right, that is the encapsulation of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Now, the guy who's going to tell you like it is, and I thought it was very funny when we had that interview, he's a statesman would say, but I'm just going to tell you, these guys are flat out liars.
Just dirty liars.
I mean, he called Tom Ossoff a weasel.
He did, yes. That's exactly right. And Raphael Warnock, too.
He's like, John Ossoff, he's a weasel. Yeah. I was like, okay, Tom Emmer.
And that's such a good old school.
Yeah.
That's like something my grandpa would have said.
Right.
That's a weasel there. Don't mess with him. He's a weasel.
You can't trust him.
That's right. Now it would be a-hole or something. I mean,
if we went back, like it sounded like he wanted to say the only thing he was missing was like yellow belly. Yellow belly weasel.
No good for nothing. I just love the fact that when he was done with our interview, he goes to the floor and just blows up on the left and Chuck Schumer.
It's been 30 days of pure obstruction from Democrat lawmakers who care more about appeasing the radical Mamdani and Omar Fata wing of their party than reopening the government for the people they were elected to serve. Americans are hurting. Families are turning to food banks. Major airports are issuing ground stops. But the Democrats don't care. In fact, they've orchestrated this chaos by refusing to support our nonpartisan government funding bill 14 times now. And for what? So that they can kowtow to the people like Kami. And I will just say to my great friend and colleague, Claudia Tenney, socialists are now the moderates in my grandfather's Democrat Party. Good. These are communists and Marxists. They are kowtowing to the people like Kami Mamdani ahead of the election. People are struggling in the meantime to put food on the table, and the Democrats are too busy playing politics to do anything about it. It's disgusting, and it needs to end.
Dude did not pull a punch.
I am so proud of these people right now. And honestly, I'm typically not a big fan of Republicans in Congress, taken as a whole.
Yeah, we say it all the time. I even quit calling myself a Republican for a long time.
Exactly. I've never referred to myself as, well, I'm a Republican. I'm like, yes, I've voted Republican in the past, but I'm not a Republican. And most notably, I'm not an establishment Republican
Definitely not.
In the slightest. You want that, go listen down the dial. He'll tell you all about it. But when it comes to Tom Emmer, this is the mentality that it took them 3 years to catch up. I've been calling them communists for 3.5 years. I've been told that's a little too far. I can't call them communists. Well, they're on the left. I'm like, they're communist, globalist, socialist. Pick your ist that you want to attach to them. They're all related. They're all shades of gray under the same relation.
Yep.
And now we're finally actually calling them communists because they've been going this direction for quite a while.
Since about 2012, when they decided, yep, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take it over this party, and we're going hard left. We're going to embrace socialist, communist, Marxist ideas. They've been doing it for a long time. People are just slow to pick up. They're slow to notice.
There was something I heard Jesse Kelly say. I was bumping around in the car.
Love that dude.
Having to run around and grab some kids. And he made this comment, and I thought, man, that's really good. He talks about during the course of history, because he's a history buff, I'm a history buff, and we also have this in some of our entertainment. What communists typically do will take whoever opposes them, whatever the other faction is, and they'll call them terrorists. And that ends up being this moniker that works so they can lock them up, they can assault them, they can kill them. They can do horrible things to them, all in the interest of, well, those are terrorists. We have to deal with the terrorists. What do you think they were doing with January 6th? What do you think they were doing for then the next 4 years? How do you think you got Arctic frost? It's not just a Gatorade beverage, okay?
Not anymore.
You ended up...
Although there was, aside from us, zero
coverage
reporting anywhere.
Zero coverage. You had to be on this radio station. You had to listen to us or Glenn Beck or Kimmer. No one is getting into Arctic frost.
None of the rags.
None of them will cover that you were actually spying on sitting U.S. senators. And we talked about it when it first came about that, hey, there's 9 senators they're looking into. Well, what did they use? What was the guise? Well, election and terrorism. That's the communist. So when Tom Emmer is saying the socialist end is the moderate, these other people are communists. What is the first thing they do? They believe they need to kill you, which is what their rhetoric has been.
And the crazy thing is, if you look at Mamdani specifically, I mean, dude's a radical. Dude embraces terrorism. He says it is a tool for social change. That's what terrorists do, and that's always what they say. You're talking about people that physically support terrorism, as we've known it. If this were 25 years ago, or not even 24 years ago.
24 years ago.
And you would have told somebody, hey, right after 9/11, we're going to elect to New York City a dude that supports terrorism and a guy that is he states himself, I am not an American. His mama backs it up. He is not an American.
And by the way, you'll find video of him talking about the global intifada.
And globalize the intifada. What does that mean? Fly planes into buildings? If that's what it takes.
And you'll tell the people of New York, this is what's coming in 24 years.
They would never believe you.
They would laugh in your face.
They would never believe you. They have forgotten.
Or they've demographically changed.
Yeah.
You imported your own problems.
Yep. Well, I mean, what was it? I pulled this up the other day. The ambassador to the UAE. I'm going to butcher his name, and I don't mean to. Youssef Al-Attaba. UAE's ambassador to the United States. He's the one that said, in the future, he said this about 7-8 years ago. He said, in the future, extremism, there will be more Islamists from Europe and America than the Middle East because of political correctness.
Yes, because in the Middle East, they put this stuff down pretty quick.
That's why Egypt had a wall so the Palestinians couldn't come.
Well, one of the things that you've had with the Saudis over the last 20 years, especially after 9/11, these groups, because of the destruction they cause economically into the future of Saudi Arabia, they come down hard on them now.
Absolutely. And that's what he's talking about. He was like, y'all pretend like you know? We know.
No, because they are not dealing with it in a PC fashion. We are. We go, well, many cultures, all one.
Unity, or what is it?
Hate has no place here.
Exactly. You're right. There's plenty of people I don't hate, but I do hate terrorism. And I do hate what's happening in the United States, and I hate the fact that ambassador is going to be 100% right.
It's two things I hate. Cancer, terrorism. It's the only things that rise to that level. But terrorism, now you see the power of when you start calling your opponents terrorists. When who are the real terrorists? I think I got a pretty good idea. Keep finding out a little bit more every week.
When we come back on Xtra 106.3 Tug and Los until 10, the current AG and gubernatorial candidate Chris Carr joins you next to earn your vote on Xtra 106.3. If you're a candidate, the road to victory runs through Xtra 106.3 listeners.
Xtra 106.3 is proud to be a community station that shares your values. This is your station, talking about issues and stories that are most important to you and your family. Stream us live on our all-new app in crystal clear HD and always live on your radio at 106.3 FM.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and for Stovall, this is a cause that's near to our hearts. We all know someone that has been affected by this terrible disease, and we have partnered with many of our vendors to raise money for this worthy cause. During the entire month of October, 100% of the proceeds of our selection of pink plants, as well as 10% of all Rainbird irrigation sales, will be donated to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. All Stovall locations will also be giving out free gifts for any donations made in store. For a full list of pink plants, as well as other ways to show your support, check out our website at StovallInc.com. FlooringTrade.com.
Hey, it's Dan Watkins from All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. When I started advertising on Extra many years ago, I didn't know it would completely change my business. But it did. Radio advertising on Extra 106.3 made my phones ring, built my brand, and helped turn a small local company into one of Atlanta's biggest success stories. And your story could start the same way at the Fan and Extra Small Business Casino Night, Thursday, November 20th. With your table sponsorship, you'll get mentions in all event promotions, a commercial schedule, chips to play, and a chance to win marketing prizes, including a $50,000 influencer campaign. They've already given away over $1 million in free advertising at this event, and this year, everyone wins something. So come join the party, eat, drink, play, and maybe kickstart your own Atlanta success story. Email biz@680thefan.com. That's BIZ at 680thefan.com. And I'll see you at Casino Night, November 20th.
Fox on Football. I'm Jared Max. After this weekend's games, the NFL regular season will be halfway completed. Sitting atop the overall NFL standings, the Indianapolis Colts, who were 7-1, one game better than the New England Patriots and Denver Broncos for the best record of the AFC. These teams have 19 wins combined, 8 more than last season through their first 8 games. Sunday, the Colts visit the 4-3 Steelers. The 6-2 Patriots host the 3-4 Falcons. The 6-2 Broncos will be in Houston to face the 3-4 Texans. 1 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday on Fox, which also will carry an NFC North matchup in Detroit between the 5-2 Lions and the 3-4 Vikings. Detroit is a half game behind Green Bay in the NFC North. The 5-1-1 Packers play Sunday on Fox at home against the 4-4 Panthers. 2 late window games on Fox Sunday. The 5-2 Rams home versus the 1-7 Saints. 4-3 Jaguars at the 2-5 Raiders. Jared Max, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 31st. The Atlanta Community Food Bank is activating its crisis response plan as SNAP benefits will be paused this weekend due to the ongoing government shutdown. The food bank will draw from its $5 million emergency reserve to purchase over 6 million pounds of food to distribute in November. The food will go to over 700 food pantries around 29 counties in North Georgia. The Cobb Board of Commissioners voted to extend its current agreement with Must Ministries to provide a warming shelter this winter. The $108,000 allocation will help keep the Hope House operating through March. The Marietta-based nonprofit opens its warming shelter on nights when temperatures fall below 35 degrees. It also helps families with food, transportation, and workforce training. And Zoo Atlanta is getting some new guests. Olive the Ostrich and Naomi the Zebra will soon be a part of the zoo's African Savannah exhibit. Zoo Atlanta staff say the new animals will help socialize the current zoo residents. Today's weather sunny and clear for Halloween. We'll have a high of 63. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra and Extra 106.3. Chris Carr, Attorney General and running for governor of the state of Georgia. Man, how are you?
Gentlemen, I'm doing great. It's just great to be in studio with you.
It
great
is
to see you.
So much fun
right
to
in
have
front
you.
of me.
And we should be talking about, I don't know, the campaign, I'm sure, but we didn't. Leading up to where we are now, all we talked about were the Braves,
the Falcons, and what happened with the Hawks.
I mean, come on, that's where our heart really is.
That is real America. That is what Georgians care about. Seriously.
No, you ain't got to convince me.
At the end of the day, everybody's talking about it first thing in the morning. What happened to the Braves? We can't let the Dodgers win the World Series. I love Freddie Freeman. He is a Brave for life. But I can't watch him win another World Series.
Because he might go into the Hall of Fame with the Dodgers logo on his hat if he gets 2 rings out there.
I asked for 6 games.
Such a punch in the face.
I said I want 6 games. If I get a possible 7th, now I can't. I'm with you. I can't have the Dodgers win.
Can't.
And for everyone who turned this into, well, it's America versus Toronto, I was like, you're basically just saying, here's my group of Dominicans, and here's the team. You pick out which one you want to win.
One Canadian on that team.
Exactly. You got one Canadian on the team. So let's not kid around. This is just about the Dodgers not getting another title.
Well, and going back to us growing up, NL West. You had to stay up late to watch the Braves play the Padres or the Dodgers. Cannot have it. We cannot have this.
I still remember, and this was talking about when I was growing up in San Antonio. It was a big deal to me to go to the newspaper to chase the '93 Braves and having to come back and get back in that race and win as much as they did before they lost to Philadelphia. That was like a fun summer for me. So I grew up as like this giant Braves and Rangers fan.
Yeah, man, I tell you, the Braves have fans all over the country because of TBS, because of what started right here in town.
That's right. Well, and when I was in college, so I graduated high school in 90. That was the last rough year we had. The 91, I got a job in the summer delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut. and listening to the Braves every night. That was the best summer ever.
Oh my gosh!
I thought I made $30 or $40 in cash. I thought I was rich, and I got to listen to the Braves.
Let's go!
You're paying me to listen to the Braves.
Are you paying me to do this? This is fantastic.
The pizza's a little bit cold because you're hanging on the inning. Like, I'll be in there, man. I'm gonna bring it. Hang on.
End of the inning. End of the inning.
And I'll be in there. Chris Carr joining us, Attorney General and running for governor. I want you to reset for people maybe that don't know why you chose to run for governor.
Well, because I feel I'm called to do this. I've been fortunate. I grew up here, worked at Georgia Pacific, worked at Alston & Bird, a couple of great Georgia companies and great law firm. But then I got to work for Johnny Isakson for 10 years when he was in the U.S. Senate, and I got to see somebody that I really thought really did it the right way for the right reasons, and got to know these federal issues. So as Attorney General and Governor, you got to be able to do that. Then I got to work for Nathan Deal at economic development. And what has transformed this state over the last 3 or 4 decades? It's a job. People are here, you're here, I'm here, my family, your family, because of a job. Either you stayed here or you moved here. And that's transformed. That's just that not every state can say that. And then Governor Deal appointed me Attorney General, and the thing that government is supposed to do is keep people safe. I don't care where you live, your race, your gender, your religion, sexual orientation, where you live or where you're from, doesn't matter. You deserve to be safe. And working with Governor Kemp, the legislature, to be able to now go after gangs and domestic terrorism and human trafficking, now organized retail theft, that's what we're supposed to do. And that's what governors can do. They can impact people's lives. Look, I've seen Washington, but you guys know it's broken. I mean, you just talked to our great Congress. Rich McCormick does an incredible job, and God bless him for doing it. But Washington's just broken right now. But when I've seen what Governor Kemp can do, when I saw what Governor Deal could do, Governor Perdue, this is where I think, and the states really are where innovation is happening and where the action is, and I think we can make the biggest impact by being governor.
Chris Carr joins us right here on the Morning Extra, and let me first start by saying I've always been extremely impressed when you come in and you talk about, I got this pending case, I can't get into that, here's what's been taken care of, we can get into this. So I think you've always been very open and honest with the audience. So for your vision as governor, now we talk about that economy and the diversity of the economy, whether you want to work in entertainment, whether you want to work in retail or in hospitality, like Georgia has something for everybody. What is your vision for this economy in Georgia continuing to be diverse and continue to grow?
Absolutely. Well, this state's been built on agriculture, manufacturing, trade, military, hospitality, construction, you name it. There's a number of issues. The number one issue is workforce. Everybody's talking about workforce. Doesn't matter if you're in retail or you're in entertainment or whatever it may be. So it starts with literacy. It starts then with aligning the jobs of the future. AI's here, but that also means somebody's going to have to build the facilities and wire the facilities, maintain it. We've got to be able to focus on infrastructure. I mean, look, we got the ports of Savannah and Brunswick. We've got Hartsfield. We're 2 days by rail and truck, 2 hours by plane to 80% of the U.S. market. We should be the logistics capital of the world, which, oh, by the way, it's a tech play. I mean, I'm a double dog. But God bless Georgia Tech. God bless this infrastructure and this ecosystem that we have here. Got to have a balanced legal environment. And you got to have a tax system, guys, that's the lowest tax burden in the country. I do believe we can get the income tax down to 3%. But if anybody says they can eliminate it without raising taxes on 90% of Georgians, they're lying. You can't do it.
It's got to come from somewhere.
It has to. You're either going to have to raise property or sales. But here's the other thing. Property taxes. Everybody's talking about, I don't care if you live in Atlanta or Savannah or Thomasville. You know, the American dream of buying a house, you get there and you buy one, and all of a sudden it gets assessed 10, 20, 30% higher than when you bought it, and you're taking away the American dream. There's got to be a cap on property taxes. So those are the things. But also safety. And mental health is a huge issue in the safety, whether it's your family. And look, I mean, if you ask everybody about addiction or just traditional, mental health issues, everybody's having to deal with it.
My family, without a doubt, it has riddled our family.
But look downtown, homelessness, poverty. What's the root cause of homelessness and poverty? Mental health.
Yeah.
Go talk to our hospitals. They're having to deal with people that are having mental health crises rather than physical, and that's not what they're there for. Our sheriffs. The vast majority of people that are in our jails are struggling with addiction or mental health. So, I mean, it's expensive. I mean, look, it's a big deal. It's complicated. It's expensive. You got to bring everybody to the table. Federal, state, and local government. You've got to bring nonprofits, for-profits, and the faith-based community together to solve this problem. But we've got to be able to focus on those
That's
things.
a big, big task for sure. Talking to Chris Carr, who's running for governor here in Georgia, current attorney general. I want to ask you about, because I have a kid that's a junior in college,
Me too.
At
Georgia.
Yeah. He's playing baseball over at Augusta. So,
great.
Yeah, super cool, great. He's been a Dean's List student his entire college career. But what are the expectations for a job when he gets out of school? Should he then go and not only, because Dr. McCormick actually brought this up, his son got a 4-year degree and they sent him to a trade school to make sure that he has the ability to live in that American dream. What do you recommend for kids? And if you're governor, when you're elected governor, what would you recommend for kids?
And what do you tell yours as far as like, what is the future for these young people?
Yeah, do what you're passionate about doing and invest in some sort of an internship at the beginning. Get the experience and then show the soft skills that you can work. I know that's not the question, but it's part of it. And that's why I do worry a little bit about our kids, that have grown up on social media, that were impacted by COVID. Our kids, 10th, 11th, 12th, mental, huge issue. But going back to the skill set, Georgia is different. Whether it's advanced manufacturing, whether it's agriculture, whether it's logistics, whether it's entertainment, fintech, mobility, cyber, we've got a lot of opportunities. So our kids are going to have and we want to continue to make sure those opportunities are here. So focusing on those industries. But the Wall Street Journal the other day said this: who's the next generation of millionaires? It's the skilled trades kids. And we did a great disservice in this country in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s when we started telling kids, if you go to technical college, you're not as smart as...
That's right.
And I'm all about going to college, really.
Yeah.
But I'm also about those skills. I mean, think about, a buddy of ours owns a plumbing company. Average salary for a plumber right now is over $100,000 a year. Master mechanic, electrician. So yeah, when why we ever took shop out of high school, I never will understand it, but we got to focus on doing that again. But doing the thing that you're passionate about. Yes, AI is here. Yes, we're trying to figure out what that reset is, but there are going to be also jobs created to deal with it. CEO of an AI company said, look, you're probably not going to lose your job to AI. Some people may, others may not, but what you're probably going to do is lose your job to someone that knows how to use AI better than you. So learn how to use AI.
That is an important factor. As we're joined by Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr, also running for governor. My wife has talked about that. She's worked in basically the as an editor and as a magazine editor for the better part of 20 years, and she's talked about how on a daily basis she uses AI. Now, part of what she's pointing out is that it's incorporated into her job to save her time. She still has to go back. She still has to make sure that it's been edited correctly and that it says whatever the company has hired her to do. But it's now become part of her resume that she's comfortable with these versions of AI. And I think that's part of that future for all workers all across the country.
I think that's right. And look, there's going to be good that's going to come from it. Former boss Johnny Isaacson had Parkinson's. I hope we learn through, AI can help us cure Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, whatever it may be. Look, using it for traffic and congestion, or there's some great uses. Fighting crime and doing some other things. There's going to be some downsides to it as well. Scams, elections. It worries me. What happens if 3 or 4 days before an election you see a video of one of us candidates saying something outrageous? Well, I've talked to folks at the FBI that said we'll be able to figure it out eventually, but it probably won't be in 3 days. That can undermine. So we got to have the guardrails. The other thing too is I do think, at the end of the day, it's going to supplement a lot. It's going to add to a lot, but AI is never going to have a soul. You're still going to have human beings that are willing to be able to do things and are going to be there. And remember how when the internet came out, retail was going to go away? Malls were going to go away? Well, it ended up being a supplement. In some respects, it took some, but not most.
Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr, he is running for governor, joins us right here in studio for the Morning Extra. So you've had predecessors that were pushing to enhance the entertainment industry. We've recently had the push for green energy, electric car vehicles. As we look into technology, and as you mentioned, even as a double dog, we have tech right here in our backyard, one of the finest institutes of learning in the country. What is the environment we have to create to make sure that when that company looks to move from Silicon Valley, they don't go to Dallas, they come to Atlanta?
Well, or the business that's created here.
Yeah.
We've got the innovation centers, and we've got the tech hubs, and Atlanta Tech Village and stuff, and Castleberry and others. We need to create an environment where they want to stay. So what is that? It's a good regulatory environment. It's a good tax environment. It's a good workforce environment, and it is access to things like Hartsfield. Think about where all you can go in the world. And just because we have the technology, you still need to go see a customer or a client, look them in the eye and shake their hand. And I always said, if we could get businesses to get on the ground in Georgia to see who we are and what we're about, from the business environment to also, I mean, look, employees got to do stuff when they're not on the job. And the restaurant scene and the music scene and the sports scene and the things that we have that other states don't have, that's what we need to make sure that we're focused on. And a legal environment as well, balance. Don't let companies be the ATM for lawsuits, but you also have to have access. If you're harmed, if your business is harmed, if there's a contract dispute, or you got to be able, we the people said you have to have a place to go. These are the things that we've done well in the past, but we cannot take it for granted because we are one election away. Particularly from the folks when I worked for Isaacson in 2004, people would say, not a dime's worth of difference between the Republicans and Democrats. Well, that day is over. If that was true then, that day is over. And think about it. Nominate the wrong Republican, and everything we believe in jobs and safety goes away because the Democrats can win. Georgians wake up 48, 49% Republican, 46, 47 Democrat. In 22, 6% of the electorate voted Raphael Warnock and then came down one line and voted Brian Kemp. That group of persuadable voters that are, college-educated women and men now all over the state care about jobs, safety, education, don't want to talk about social issues, and candidate quality matters. So that's how we've ended up. We've taken our eye off the ball. We got 2 Democratic senators that do not represent our state.
Boy, it hurts, too.
And think about that in the governor's mansion. Think about that. You can make a difference.
No question about it. Talking with Chris Carr, Attorney General, running for governor. Let's talk about those folks that are concerned about voting, that have questions about voting. Not trying to relitigate anything, but I was talking to Janelle King, who's on the Georgia Elections Board, and she said it's been wacky for many, many years. There's all kinds of, going back to 2015 or 2016 rather, where there's just irregularities and people are concerned about it. How do we make sure, if you're a governor, how do we make sure that those people voting feel good when they hit the button for you or anybody else? And how do we make sure you as a candidate gets a fair shake?
Yeah, short answer is we passed a law, SB 202 and 22, that focused on safety, security, access, and transparency. Those are 3 things you got to have because that's how we govern ourselves. One vote has to matter. It's got to know it's safe. You got to know it counted. You got to know that you can figure out if it did, and that's where we've done some. We did recounts and that kind of thing. If you think about 2018, remember Stacey Abrams said she lost because of voter suppression. Right. Not one single Georgian who was eligible to vote was prohibited from voting in 18. How can I say that? Because she filed a federal lawsuit, and we fought her. And on all 20 counts, federal judge who happened to be appointed by President Obama threw it out. In 2020, we said widespread voter fraud. There just wasn't evidence of widespread voter fraud. No election's perfect, but it was hundreds of cases we were looking at, not thousands or tens of thousands. All that said, the legislature came back in 22 and changed, because Democrats were concerned about long lines and computers and local boards not doing what they wanted to. We were worried about fraud and long lines and local boards not doing what they were supposed to do. So we changed the law. And remember, Biden sued us, all based on Stacey Abrams' campaign flyers. And finally, thank heaven, my former colleague and friend Pam Bondi, they dismissed the lawsuit. You have to continue to focus on it. But I'll tell you guys, I feel a whole lot better about where things are today than we were, before. And that said, when you looked at the specifics in 18 or 20, it just wasn't what some people were saying it was.
Chris, we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
And you're always welcome back to listen and talk to the people that are going to be pulling the lever for you. You're always welcome.
God bless. Thank you.
Chris Carr, Attorney General, running for governor in the state of Georgia, here on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Want you to find out more about him. Quick Google search. You'll find his social media. You'll find his website. And that way you can make an informed decision about where he stands. And he'll be back on the Morning Extra to talk to you again as well. And I would say that if you're a candidate and you want to win, the road to victory runs through Extra 106.3 listeners. If a candidate you support, you want them to win, have them reach out to us here at Extra 106.3. We will put them in front of the most informed audience in Atlanta, Georgia.
If there's someone you don't like, let's get them on. Yes, you can decide either way.
That's right. I didn't think of that, but that's good too. Yes. When we come back on Extra, Kamala Harris, the moment she realized she wasn't going to be president. Next on Extra.
The biggest latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 31st. Your college football weekend for the locals begins tomorrow afternoon. Fifth-ranked Georgia is in Jacksonville for their yearly matchup with Florida. Florida is unranked this season. This time around, that game will kick off at 3:30. As for 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, they're on the road taking on a 4-4 NC State team. That game will kick off tomorrow evening at 7:30. You can hear that game live on our sister station and their brand new app, 680 The Fan. As for the World Series, it could end tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays lead the series 3-2 over the LA Dodgers. Game 6 will begin with first pitch in Toronto at 8 o'clock. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Don't just ride apart from the crowd, travel above it. The spacious, sumptuous 7-seat GLS SUV wraps thoughtful innovations in ruggedly elegant style and refined luxury. It's chiseled and muscular, yet polished and agile, from its bold grille to its LED tail lamps. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 4MATIC SUV. Just $929 per month for 36 months with $87.33 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the RBM of Atlanta's fall sales event, now through October 31st. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through October 31st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Hey, Braves fans, some things just get better with time, like your love for the Braves and banking with Truist One Checking. It's checking for life, offering everyday essentials like no overdraft fees and a tap-to-pay debit card. And great extras you'll appreciate season after season, like automatic upgrades as your balances grow. Be ready every inning with Truist One Checking. It's life-ready checking that grows with you. Get Truist One Checking today. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day, the Trusted Toolbox.
As the left's agenda continues to fail, the whining will only continue to get louder.
I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Extra 106.3 will continue to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Support our veterans and first responders and be the voice of your community when it matters most. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Xtra at Extra 106.3.
That's right, Tug. You tell him.
Slow hand.
He's not lying to you.
Here's something I want to say. If you have YouTube TV and you can't watch Georgia Tech this weekend, you can always listen to Georgia Tech for free. There will never be a subscription fee. There will never be a change of providers.
Unless you want to get our Venmos out.
Now, yeah, well, look, we accept for sure. Yeah, at Tug Cowers, where you can find me. I'll take a payment for you to listen to Georgia Tech over at our sister station, The Fan.
I'll take 20
at 93.7 FM. Absolutely. So, yes, if you would like to send money, please don't hesitate to do that. But don't feel obligated to do that. But no, for real, because I just found out this morning, we were talking about it earlier, that YouTube TV and ESPN and ABC Disney, they just could not come to an agreement. So this weekend, so many college football fans will not be watching college football.
There's always that pain point in the negotiations of knowing, all right, when are we going to push them? We'll push them during college football season with YouTube. And I think YouTube TV is a great product.
No, it is.
Like I have Hulu, but I think YouTube's a great. If I didn't have one, I'd have the other.
I've had it before. I'm DirecTV.
I've used it.
Now.
I love it. I love that I have NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube TV for NFL Sunday Ticket has been legit, and so I get it. If you're without, I know you can cancel and go back, but let's make it easy. You can just tune in for free on the app.
And it's never going to change. It's never not going to be there if you're a Jackets fan. And they're having a magical year. I mean, a magical year. Undefeated for the first time since way back. 4-0 in the conference, 5-0 in the conference since way back in like the 60s.
And they're going to a very weird place. And we had the chance to catch up with Chris Carr. And one of the things that we were talking about was strictly for entertainment purposes, the gambling lines, because it is an indication of what the view is of your team and the game. And you would imagine an 8-0 top 10 ranked team playing a 4-4 team on the road. That's 9.5, 10, 10.5. It's 5.5. So this is going to be a game like a lot of these Tech games where it seems to be them making plays and scratching it out. And so we'll see how it plays out with NC State tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. But if you can't see it because you got YouTube TV,
listen to our sister station.
Get the 680 The Fan app. Never miss a snap of Georgia Tech football. Here on Extra 106.3.
By the way, I love that we have a show within the show. We have like a multitude of shows running. So while we're doing this show for you, and you have YouTube, then there's also the show on X that we're doing with our good friend Stephanie as we're talking about McCarthyism and the Red Scare.
That's right.
So maybe that'll be for down the road of talking about the communist infiltration and how everything played out.
And this was all in DMs on X. On Twitter. So conversations happen. Los is not wrong. It happens with regularity with a bunch of different people, where we will have conversations about stuff that we're not even talking about on the air. It's a show, like you said, show within the show.
It's a show within the show.
It's so
and it's fun when portions of that show actually show up on the show.
That's exactly right. It's good. I would imagine if you're a college football fan, the moment you find out that you no longer have access to your college football games, you're like, what in the beep? You're like cussing and swearing. But what if you were told, you were convinced that you're going to be the next president of the United States of America, and that moment comes for you?
I don't know if it's the $2 billion. I have to assume that it's the $2 billion and a bunch of people telling you you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Because Kamala Harris was selected by Joe Biden, not the country, because he knew she'd lose. It was the giant F you for what you did to him and his family. So you then have the scenario where now everyone gets around Kamala Harris and tells her, whoa, you're the anointed one. You're the greatest thing ever. You're the most ready. I know that you never received one vote in a primary ever. You didn't even make it to Iowa. But this is your moment. And I think that they told her that in between that, allegedly the alcohol,
and
there was delusions of grandeur.
And not showing her the internal polling.
The internal polling, she talked about it. She's like, hey, we're the underdog. The internal polling, from what I have heard and from our contacts, that she was 10 points back the entire time. And yeah, you can look at what happened. It was 7 swing states all gone. It was the popular vote. In modern politics, when it comes to Republicans beating Democrats on a national stage, that's a butt kicking. So I want you to take a listen as Kamala Harris, she's doing this interview tour, and she's still on the book. But I do believe this woman bought in to the own legend that they created for her during that summer. Brad Summer, and she's the greatest thing ever. I think she fully bought it.
I was in a state of shock.
Really? Did you think
the day before that you were going to win the election? Yeah. And so when did the proverbial penny drop?
When I got a call from my campaign manager that it looks like we need 200,000 more votes that we can't find. Meaning it's just the map, the numbers. And the thing I kept saying over and over again, I was in a state of shock. I was so inarticulate, but maybe very articulate. What I kept saying over and over again is, my God, my God, my God.
Really?
Over and I couldn't stop. I haven't felt that emotion, anything similar to the emotion I felt that day and for quite some time, other than the grief I felt when my mother died.
All right, that's pretty strong.
Dude, let that sit in for a little while. She was so convinced that she was shocked. Here's the question I have. When they say there's 200,000 votes we can't find, that's an odd way of putting it.
It's an odd way of...
We can't. Typically, we can find votes when we need to. You know what I mean? Because I hear they put them in warehouses in downtown Atlanta, unfolded. That's just what I've heard.
That's just what I've heard.
That's just what I've been told.
Just tends to, hey, we got a problem here in Michigan. All right, hold on, bring out the trucks.
I'm sure she didn't mean it that way, but that's as soon as she said, we can't find, I was like, odd.
The fun part for me is at 7:15 on that November day, I looked at the numbers in Miami-Dade County, and I was like, we're winning this thing. And it was the royal we. All right, we had voted for this. We had been pushing this. We had been talking about early voting and getting to the polls. And when Miami-Dade County went Republican, went red, that's when I knew it was over.
And it was so funny because at 7:15, I'm thinking to myself, we still got 4 hours, Los. we got to fill 4 hours. We know what's trending.
We can go back to that particular night. And I've always thought, I'm like, should I go pull the audio of that evening? Because it was a great evening with Kimmer and Pete and yapping with all the guys.
And Janelle and Kelvin.
Janelle and Kelvin when they
cool.
were in there. It was so much fun. But I just remember the nervousness that was in there. And then when I saw those numbers, I was like, guys, this is going to be a good night. I was like, this is going to be good. And by the time we got the Virginia numbers, areas that typically go for the Democrats by like an 8-2 margin, and they were close. In fact, she had lost a few of those. I was like, this is going to be a great night. Like, this is going to be over tonight.
Fast forward to...
and she's sitting there looking for 200,000 votes. I'm like, you were done at 7:15.
You had no chance. And I was watching MSNBC because they'd put us up in a hotel to be close to get back the next morning because it was such a late night. It was like 2, maybe 1, 2 in the morning when MSNBC, which we have it on in the studio, we watch this crap so you don't have to. We saw them, well, we're not ready to give in yet. We're not ready to give in yet. Then Erie, Pennsylvania, Erie County, and they're like, oh God,
it's done.
It's over.
We didn't even get to Arizona. We didn't even get to the West Coast.
There was no need.
When I got a call from my campaign manager, I was in a state of shock. I was so inarticulate.
She was drunk up.
It's going to be me tonight about 11 o'clock.
That's
Just
right.
going to let everybody know.
On Halloween.
I love Halloween.
This is the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. When we come back, Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer joins you to discuss the government shutdown, and they have some opinions about the senators from Georgia.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, I got about 2 minutes to rant about Democrats and this shutdown, the Schumer shutdown. How pathetic can they be? They couldn't win the presidential election. They couldn't win the House of Representatives. They couldn't win the Senate. They have nothing, and they're desperate. Their popularity rating is steadily going down. They are becoming a Marxist, socialist party. and they're desperate. They need a victory so bad. So maybe they can go to the extreme of shutting down a good portion of our government so that not do something they promised to do years ago, and that is to let these COVID-era Obamacare subsidies expire as they were supposed to. So how far will they go? They will keep poor people from having food on the table in order to provide health care to illegal aliens. They will not pay air traffic controllers and perhaps put our airports and airways into chaos because they want to provide free health care to illegal aliens. They will put American lives at jeopardy. They will fail to pay government workers because they want to give free health care to illegal aliens. They will punish the American public because they want money from the American public to pay for health care for illegal aliens. There's no rhyme or reason to this, my friends. It is a political party in desperate shape, begging for relevance again and facing a dismal future because of stunts just like this. How in the hell can a sane American with an IQ above 100 vote to keep these idiots in power? Neil Bortz, I'll calm down now. Extra 106.3.
If you punch me in the face, what, you think I'm just going to suck it up and take it? I believe there'll be retribution, which is also called a quality of a sliminess.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
The shutdown has lasted the entire month. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Stop this craziness and open the government.
And not long after Vice President Vance again urged Democrats to stop blocking funding, the president posted on Truth Social, it's time to play the Trump card, the nuclear option, calling for an end to the filibuster, which Democrats have been using.
Republican leaders in the Senate have already rejected that idea, but if you nuke the filibuster, the GOP can reopen the government on their own.
The shutdowns left furloughed federal workers unpaid, but Fox's Doug Luzader also reports.
While troops will be paid today after the Pentagon has shifted some funding around, tomorrow federal SNAP benefits are set to run out. Head Start and WIC funds will soon be in jeopardy, just as open enrollment begins for Obamacare plans.
Now, Democrats warn millions of Americans will face big increases in the cost of coverage if Republicans don't agree to add a provision to a funding bill to extend some Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of the year. Hurricane Melissa is moving past Bermuda after leaving a trail of destruction and nearly 50 deaths in the Caribbean, many of them in Jamaica, where the devastation is widespread after Melissa hit as one of the most powerful storms ever. Fox Weather's Robert Ray talked to this distraught survivor.
I lose everything.
What will you do now?
I don't know where to start from. I just need some help to put back myself.
Are you okay?
No.
A different storm hit the Northeast, causing flash flooding in New York City. 2 people died in basements that were deep underwater. 4 days before Election Day, a red candidate is hoping for a blue upset in New Jersey's governor's race.
And when Democratic mayors across this state are endorsing the Republican nominee, it tells you we're onto something.
Jack Ciattarelli at a town hall on Fox's Hannity, but a new Fox News poll still has Ciattarelli trailing the Democrat. Mikey Sherrill is at 52%. He's at 45%. Another Fox poll is giving New York City Mayor Socialist candidate Zoran Mondani a 16-point lead over former Governor Andrew Cuomo. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry. Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. You know, you can download the Kimmer podcast on the Extra 106.3 app, along with a ton of other great shows. Go get it, for crying out loud, now on Apple or Android.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. We have a couple incredible guests this morning. A friend of the show, I would like to call Dr. Rich McCormick a friend of the show since he's been on so many times.
We actually had the pleasure of voting for him.
That's right.
He represents our area.
That's right. Both Los and I live in his district, but we also have House Majority Whip Tom Emmer on the show with us this morning. How are you, gentlemen? How are you?
We're great, and we are ready to answer all questions and solve all problems for the great nation that we serve.
Goodness.
Amen.
I like this, man. We're coming out of the gate. We have some expectation this morning. This is great. I love it. I want to obviously start with the clearest thing, that the discussion, the topic of discussion. I just saw where NBC posted, Senate expresses new hope for stopping the shutdown. Look, I know y'all are in the House, but are y'all getting that indication from your colleagues in the Senate?
Well, certainly not from Ossoff or Warnock.
Yeah.
They haven't shown any indication they're going to vote the right way. I just talked to him at an event the other day, Senator Ossoff, and he indicated he was still resolute. But I would love to hear what they have as a plan to get out of the mess that they got us into.
Well, and I will just add, Rich and I and the rest of the Republicans in the House, we did the right thing on September 19th, well in advance of the September 30th deadline. We gave the Democrats literally what they asked for, a short-term, clean, nonpartisan CR. By the way, the same one they supported 6 months ago and the same one that they voted for 13 times under Joe Biden. And then what happened? It passed with a simple majority in the House. All the Republicans and one Democrat voted for it. All the other Dems voted no. Went over to the Senate, and you need 60 votes to get it through the Senate. We got 53 senators, so we need Democrats, and Chuck Schumer shut it down. Up till now, folks, I would tell you that from the whip's perspective, the vast majority of this country, thanks to our great president, Donald Trump, who managed to pay our troops last month, because of that, the vast majority of this country hasn't felt it or noticed the government shutdown. But that became real this week. And your two senators, Ossoff and Warnock, this is pathetic what they're doing. They're putting partisan politics ahead of this. I'm going to make a prediction. The prediction is this. They asked the American Federation of Government Employees to send them a letter on Monday. That's their off-ramp. 820,000 federal workers are saying, pass the clean CR. They're still holding off. Why? Because there are elections in Virginia, New Jersey, and other places next Tuesday. And because if you get past next Tuesday, you have the longest shutdown in history, and now you can go to your Marxist, Leninist base and tell them that you are the ones that fought the good fight, and now you can end the shutdown and get back to the table. It is pathetic. It's wrong. Air traffic controllers stop getting a check on Tuesday. You're going to have more federal employees who don't get paid today. You're going to have military not getting paid on, I think it's Friday, and then on Saturday. You've got, in your state alone, you've got 1.35 million SNAP enrollees that aren't going to get their benefits, guys. And that's because of John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock.
Gosh, somebody get him a cup of coffee because we need to wake up the whip. I just don't know.
That's awesome. We're joined by Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick, also with House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. And this is a compliment to both of you guys and a question as well. I have been very complimentary during this shutdown with what I believe the Republican Party has done so much better this time around. The messaging, the information that is going out to people as to why this is occurring, who is going to benefit from it, why is the Democrat Party having to fight the radical end of their party, how this is so much of an issue of what's going on with that. How important has it been for both of you guys to do as much media as possible to get out the message so that the American people understand? And we're seeing it in the polls, a lot of traction when it comes to independents and Republicans supporting what y'all are doing.
And that's the crux of the issue. I think most people realize that what the Democrats are asking for, they could not get when they had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Let's be very clear about that. They're asking for things in the minority that they could not vote for themselves. It's a ridiculous ask, and we all know it. As a matter of fact, it would be devastating to the American budget that we have right now. We're already massively in debt. The president has really done a good job with the tariffs of bringing us back to some balance, but that's not going to do long term. We have to be much more responsible. And by the way, this Medicaid is supposed to be a state-run program. We keep on forgetting that. That's where the real responsibility is. States have a budget balance we don't have at the federal level. We continue to print money. It's going to put us in a big hurt locker into the future. But we've been able to message on the right things this time, show how the Democrats have no other straws to grasp. They're out of football field, and they need to just come to the table and get this done.
Well, one of the things with the media for us has been we have to counter the outright lies that the Senate Minority Leader, soon to be former Senate Minority Leader, in the cartoon character known as Hakeem Jeffries in the House that they've been telling. I mean, these guys are just, I use the word which is more statesman-like, disingenuous, but they're bald-faced liars. I mean, they showed us, they try to tell you this is about health care. Well, they filed an alternative proposal in the Senate. It's about 60-some pages long, 66. People should take a look at that. One and a half pages of that 60-plus page document has to do with the enhanced premiums that Warnock and Ossoff keep complaining about. This has nothing to do with that. They want to subsidize Sesame Street in Iraq. They want to subsidize LGBTQ programs all around the globe and other nonsense that the American people voted out last November. They didn't listen then, and they're refusing to learn the lesson that they were taught last November.
And one more thing I want to add on this, too. When they talk about wanting to pay the troops or wanting to pay the necessary personnel to keep this nation running, whenever we brought it to the floor, guess what? The Senate would not vote on it when we passed it in the House. And then when the Senate brought it up, again, they would not pass it. This is the disingenuous purpose that the whip was just talking about. They have no intention of making this work. They created the problem, and they don't want to solve it. This is just to create the hurt on the American people to try to basically appease their base, which is absolutely Marxist now.
Keep in mind, Rich, your fraud named John Ossoff, he voted against it over and over again till he was given an opportunity to vote for it, and they let him vote for it because they knew they were taking it down, so he can now go home and say, well, I was against it before I was for it, and I'm for it.
And he's talking about basically paying the military troops, which a couple, Warnock and Ossoff, voted for, knowing that Schumer was holding the cards to the count. This is all by absolute design. They created this. This is theater, like the whip just said.
Well, but on top of that, as we're talking to Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer, they're using this as leverage. They're everything about this.
They were actually calling it leverage.
We had three different Democrats saying we have nothing. This is all we have, and people will hurt. Yeah, they will, but it's okay. We're willing to sacrifice.
But that's what's so disgusting. Chuck Schumer said a week ago, every day this gets better for us. Who is us, Chuck? Who is us? It's the American people that are getting hurt here. Chris Coons in the Senate said this is how we get our leverage. Catherine Clark, the House Minority Whip, she doesn't do much. She's from Massachusetts. She said, of course people are going to get hurt. They're going to feel pain. But this is the only way we get our leverage. And that's what I think Rich and I and all of our colleagues are so frustrated by. This is not about Republicans and Democrats. This is about doing the right thing for the people who elected you to serve their best interests.
And when they talk about leverage, they're talking about, once again, getting something they couldn't pass when they were in the majority. And if we gave in to them, if we did, they would do this every single year because then they'd be trained to basically put the people through pain so they could get what they couldn't get when they were in the majority. That's how horrible this is.
I got to add, guys, McCormick's one of the biggest spending hawks we have in our entire conference. He was not happy with the bill that we passed over the summer because he wanted to cut more. And we had to work with him back and forth, and we're going to cut more. But we told him this is the best. The president told him this is the best I can do right now. We'll take it the next step the next time we go around. In the meantime, We did cut record amounts out of the government's spending accounts, and guess what? These goofballs want $1.5 trillion in new spending. They want to put it all back in the cookie jar, and with that, they want to put illegals back on taxpayer-funded health care and gut that $50 billion rural health care fund, Rich, that you and I did with the president last July.
Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer are our guests on the Morning Extra. Another question for both of you gentlemen. I alluded to the polling, and CNN had it yesterday from Harry Etten. Plus 8 points with the Republican base is how they're reviewing the Republicans in Congress. Plus 12 when it comes to independents, how they're reviewing and looking at Republicans in Congress. So things are working out from that standpoint. The messaging is good. What is the off-ramp for the Democrats at this point? Because this now feels like, rather than this just being a fight between Republicans and Democrats, this feels like more of a civil war on the Democrat side between their very Marxist end and the establishment portion of their party.
Well, I started off by telling you at first the off-ramp, because I think someone on their side asked for this. The American Federation of Government Employees, there are 1.4 million government federal employees in this country. This union represents 820,000. They sent a very carefully worded letter on Monday. It didn't say Republicans good, Democrats bad. It didn't do any of that. It just said pass the clean CR. And now we're going through this process. You probably saw John Thune. It's tough to get that tall drink of water from the Midwest angry. He was angry last night, telling them that they're not telling the truth. I think what you're going to see, that letter was the beginning of the end. You saw a ground stoppage in Newark yesterday that lasted an extended period of time. Air traffic controllers are going to continue to be the issue, but I believe these guys are so awful and they're so afraid of their violent, small, pro-terrorist wing of their party that they're going to wait until after next Tuesday in the elections before they do it. If they don't open it up after that, Rich and I think you and I are going to be dealing with this for a lot longer.
I sure hope not. I will say that this was kind of their gamble. They weren't getting anything done. They're only being obstructionist. They were becoming more and more unpopular, and basically the rest of the country basically saw them as flaccid. And so what were they going to do? They basically took the dice, they rolled them, they hoped that it would work out, and it's not. And they're going to suffer because of it, and so are we.
Are we going to have a do-over? Let's say the government is reopened and for whatever reason the Democrats finally come to the table, finally do what's right. Are we going to have a do-over in November, though? Isn't that's like the CR only takes us through the end of November, maybe a little bit of December? Are we getting a do-over, though, right before Christmas?
How do we avoid this scenario happening again so quickly?
Well, you don't. I mean, I think we've got to wait and see. First, if they ever come to the table to reopen our government, and that is Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats, including your own Warnock and Ossoff. If they actually do come to the table, and let's just hypothetically say they do it at the end of next week, and they open the government, you're right. The current CR goes through November 21st. They've already burned a month of time, right? That's not going to be enough time. You watch, if they do that, I would expect there will be an amendment to the CR with a new date. And to me, that'll be the next fight, because I think Rich can affirm this. In our conference with our members, they hate continuing resolutions. Each one gets harder to pass because Republicans want to get back to regular order appropriations. That's where we were headed. We're not there. It's been broken for 30 years. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but that's where we were headed before the Democrats threw the sand in the gears with this ridiculous partisan shutdown. I would look for an amended CR with a date and the fight. The Democrats will want to do what they always do. They'll want to have a fight over Christmas, right? I just don't see our members agreeing to that. They will probably put a date somewhere beyond that date, and then it's going to be a struggle. Republicans do not like continuing resolutions.
No, I hate them, and I voted against them, even at the great crucifixion that you'll get sometimes from the White House, because they want to get things done. But I think we try to do the best we possibly can. We certainly don't want to freeze the government, especially when we're in control. So I have jumped on board with these CRs, which I hate. And the whip, ironically, before he was the whip and had to kind of get this thing through, he also was very much never voted for a CR. So CRs are hard to vote for. Sometimes they're the best thing you can get. But I tell you what, we have some really good bills we're still working on. Even right now, during the shutdown, we were working hard. We talked about the Incentivized Savings Act that we talked about earlier on your program. We're going to try to reinvent the way we go about this and try to train government to spend money in the appropriate way, because the people understand how hard they work for that money and how much they pay into the government. They want to see results.
No question about it. Going to leave it here. I hope both of you will come back and join us again. I love the conversation. It's wonderful to talk to you both, Dr. Rich McCormick and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. God bless you both. Thank you for your hard work.
Always a pleasure. Semper Fi, guys.
Tug and Los until 10. Morning Xtra, 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT, Right now, you can get up to $2,100 in rebates and 0% financing for 60 months. Reach out to Chuck and his team at Central Heating and Air Conditioning today, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. I want to make one more mention about this, too. It's just having those guys on. If you're a candidate, the road to victory comes right through Extra 106.3, speaking to the audience that listens to this, speaking to you listening right now. That's how you win.
And thank you to Dr. Rich, because to get the House Majority Whip, to tell them, like, hey, come and join these guys. Listen to what they're going to ask you. And that's also a compliment to this audience for the details that you want. So, because he was running around everywhere. Like, everyone around this building was like, hey, man, he did your show. Then he went on MSNBC. Then he went on CNN. Then he went on Fox. And I was like, yes, thank you.
And then he went on the House floor.
Yeah, then he went on the House floor and lit everybody up. I was like, thank you for working us in.
He got it started right here with you on Extra. If you support a candidate that wants to win their race, get them on Extra 106.3 in the Morning Extra. That's what you have to do if you want them to win. And they know that. That's the reason they come here. There's a reason. This is Extra 106.3. When we come back, Kamala Harris has a major problem with the East Wing remodel. Next on Extra.
Extra 106.3 is Atlanta's home for NASCAR, and we have live races every weekend from across the country. Check out extra1063.com for the full schedule and join us this weekend for live NASCAR action.
It is so important that you go to southernexteriors.co. Southernexteriors.co. They're doing something wonderful again this year. You may remember last year we gave away a full roof replacement. Family was overwhelmed, tears of joy, right in time for the Christmas holiday season. Building on that success, they're doing it again this year with a full siding remodel. Could be up to $30,000, depending on the size of your house. But you got to get registered. If you know someone that could use a full-on siding remodel for their home, go to southernexteriors.co. Top left, red button, Christmas giveaway, and get them registered there. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, or maybe it's you. Doesn't matter. We want the best story, and we want to help one family this Christmas holiday season. More tears of joy, more grateful feelings of Thanksgiving, feelings of success, and doing the right thing. That's what we want to see again. And maybe it's you to get to cry those tears of joy. southernexteriors.co. 100% covered. James Hardy, best in the business, siding remodel. southernexteriors.co.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and for us at Stovall, this is a cause that hits close to home. My mother, mother-in-law, and now my wife have all battled breast cancer. Over the past 9 years, Stovall & Company has raised over $400,000 for the National Breast Cancer Foundation through our annual Pinktober fundraiser. During the month of October, 100% of the proceeds of our Pinktober plants, as well as 10% of all Rainbird irrigation sales, will be donated to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Stop by any of our 11 locations or visit our website at StovallInc.com.
Braves Country Convos is the newest official podcast of the Atlanta Braves. Join hosts Jory Palmer and Lauren Saad for some fun, lighthearted, and unexpected discussions as they interview guests with strong Braves country ties about the things that connect us all. Guests range from Braves alumni Charlie Culberson, MLB Network's Lauren Shahadi, and more. Visit Braves.com/podcast to begin listening to Season 1 wherever you get your podcast, or watch on YouTube. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
As a kid, scoring a full-size candy bar on Halloween was just like hitting the jackpot. This month at Jim Ellis Buick GMC, get that same feeling with monster savings on a full-size SUV. Hey, it's Chuck and Chernoff. Treat yourself to $5,000 off MSRP on in-stock 2025 GMC Yukon XL Denali models.
This SUV is a beast, strong, capable, and premium, built for those who expect more. Plus, at Jim Ellis Buick GMC, you get more than just great offers.
Enjoy exceptional service, competitive pricing, and a cart buying experience that's quick, easy, and convenient. Find your new Yukon and save at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person located on Peachtree Boulevard just inside the perimeter or off Highway 20 in Beaufort.
Jim Ellis Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
2025 GMC Yukon XL Denali example stock number GL1384 MSRP $89,154. After the $5,000 Jim Ellis discount, sale price is $84,154. Excludes TABT and state fees. Expires 10/31/25.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 31st. The Atlanta Community Food Bank is activating its crisis response plan as SNAP benefits will be paused this weekend due to the ongoing government shutdown. The food bank will draw from its $5 million emergency reserve to purchase over 6 million pounds of food to distribute in November. The food will go to over 700 food pantries around 29 counties in North Georgia. The Cobb Board of Commissioners voted to extend its current agreement with Must Ministries to provide a warming shelter this winter. The $108,000 allocation will help keep the Hope House operating through March. The Marietta-based nonprofit opens its warming shelter on nights when temperatures fall below 35 degrees. It also helps families with food, transportation, and workforce training. And Zoo Atlanta is getting some new guests. Olive the Ostrich and Naomi the Zebra will soon be a part of the zoo's African Savannah exhibit. Zoo Atlanta staff say the new animals will help socialize the current zoo residents. Today's weather sunny and clear for Halloween. We'll have a high of 63. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los on Halloween, dressed up even I dressed up. I know I poo-poo it a lot, but this year I jumped in and was participating, and because I wanted to see Los's face when he saw it.
I was shocked.
And it was grand. It was great. I love it.
I turned the corner and I went, wow, that is seriously naval tug coward, like an action figure.
Let's go.
And he saluted me, and I felt like, wow, what an honor, because Tug does not play dress up.
Not usually.
Yet he decided, all right.
Only for my good buddies.
Good to the show. Buddies. So I thank you. I really appreciate that.
For sure. What was it? Was his name Shipwreck, the G.I. Joe Navy dude?
He was with the, he had the tattoo and everything. Yeah.
Dude, I think I just found a picture of him. Look, I'm Shipwrecked today.
You are. That is.
Dude, that's the throwback, man.
That's awesome.
And the Navy doesn't even wear these dungarees anymore. They've moved on to like a BDU, like a navy haze gray and underway, navy blue and gray BDU. That's what they wear. So this is vintage. This is true. Like, it's truly vintage. It's vintage for me too, but it's actual vintage.
Do you have the all white Cracker Jacks?
Oh yeah,
still stowed away somewhere. That's what. That would have been the real.
Well, yeah,
real deal.
yeah. It was not a chance I'm getting in those.
Either one. I was hopeful that you still had those.
I do. Yeah,
but I would have said like next in line would be what you're wearing now.
Yeah, man.
So I'm
shipwrecked.
I'm honored.
Call me
it's
shipwrecked.
Very cool. He's shipwrecked.
I'll call him Cookie Monster. And he came in this morning as dressed as Cookie Monster, bringing cookies. Of course.
Sea Monster.
Maybe have a cookie or two.
What's Sea Monster? What?
It's Cookie Monster. Listen, this is a different era. It's Sea Monster now.
Okay, all right. So I didn't realize that. Well, I have to get myself.
I have to get up to date.
For sure. I had no idea. All right. Well, if you're celebrating Halloween today, or dressed up at work or hanging out, we wish you the best. And let me tell you, if you're trying to win Halloween, and we're dudes, so everything's kind of a competition.
That's right.
Los is trying to win Halloween. What he's doing, let me set this up for you. What Los is doing, not just having big, vats of candy for people to come in.
That's a start.
But that's just baseline. That's what everybody does.
That's rookie league stuff.
That's what everybody does. Front Office Los is doing something different. He's rolling out the grill from Traeger.
That's right. Bringing out my tailgater.
From Hobro.
Thank you, Howard Brothers.
And throwing hot dogs on the grill. So everybody's going to get candy. They're going to get fed. But you think that's far enough? No, it's not far enough.
No, sir.
What kind of question is that? Is that far enough? No, it's not. He's taking care of the kids. He's also taking care of the adults with airline bottles. Dude, if you don't go by Front Office Los's house, you are going to fail at Halloween.
We're talking about a quarter mile, maybe a third of a mile from the start of our street to the end. And at least a good, what would probably be like 10 or 15 houses that you would typically imagine. There's a nature preserve, so there's nothing on the right side of the road. So it's only the left side. So you have to walk a quarter to a third of a mile to reach the end of the cul-de-sac. If you do, if you complete this mission,
you'll be rewarded.
You will be rewarded with an airline bottle,
mightily,
and a hot dog.
That's right.
I think you need to treat yourself today.
That's right.
That's right. And you get your Fitbit steps in.
That's
so
right.
Burn off some of the calories.
And I'm going to dress up as a hot dog, serving hot dogs. That's my plan.
Go. About 10 o'clock tonight, it'll be vodka.
That's right. That's right.
Well, airline bottles, is it?
I think I'm going to do Fireball bottles. That's a quick shot. Everybody,
and it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
You walk that off walking back up out of the cul-de-sac.
So.
You'll have that thing burned.
You have to be careful, because I did this a couple of years ago when I first moved into my neighborhood, and the kids are coming by in groups. The adults are coming by. Oh yeah, adults will grab a beer or a seltzer or something like that. Well, one mom, she was a single mom with her daughter, and
what's your name?
Yeah, well,
how you doing, girl?
She goes on and she said, I'll pass on the drink, and then she sends her daughter back from down the street. She said, yeah, mom wanted one. Now about the same time, a whole another group with their parents are walking up, and I'm like, this is a bad look. I cannot be passing out seltzers.
I'm handing it to you, Mom. There's not going to be a gopher on this one. No gophers.
Send her back up here.
Yeah, it's just like when I was a kid, when Daddy would send me in to get his cigarettes, and the lady behind the counter said, I know you're coming to get these for your daddy, but you gotta tell him the new law is you can't buy these cigarettes for him anymore. So I understand. I actually was the kid in that situation. I was going to get Daddy's cigarettes.
I'm here for your cigarettes.
I wonder if Bortz is handing out anything.
No.
It's condo community too.
How are you going to get to him?
Oh, well.
Yeah, you realize
maybe some gummies for the adults in the condo.
They have facial recognition software to get into his building.
Yes, you can do it with Homer Simpson.
Oh, he did say that. But you got to know to do it. And unless you listen to the show, you wouldn't know. It's the only place he's ever said that before.
I challenge our listeners.
Yeah, try to get in. See if you drive down to Naples and see if you can get Neil Bortz's house.
You push it to the limit.
Buddy, I tell you what, something tells me Neil is prepared for anything that might come through that door.
I'm guessing.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Just a thought.
He will be prepared.
Open the door in his Pumas.
That's right. Yeah, down in his skivvies.
Looking good, Neil. All right.
Yeah, wearing a sidearm. like he's John Wayne or something. Kamala Harris, we actually played a piece of audio. We're not necessarily picking on her today, but there's just been a couple things she said because of this book tour that have been, crazy. I know it's hard to believe.
A little bit fun.
It's been super fun. Earlier, she was shocked. She said she was shocked when she didn't win the election, and it cut her so deeply. Not since the passing of her mother was she cut so deeply.
I think Victor Davis Hanson, very sharp man, has been correct in his, as he's kind of put it out here. The elite Democrats have largely been broken by Donald Trump. Like, Obama is more active on social media than he's ever been. He's been broken by Donald Trump because the man is taking a sledgehammer to his legacy and to everything he tried to create, just breaking it all up. And then you see the other people who have interacted. Hillary's broken by that man.
Remember when she read what would have been her acceptance speech?
Yep.
Dude, how desperate is that?
Chuck Schumer is broken by that man. Adam Schiff is broken by that man. You know who's not broken? If you don't mess with him and don't interact with him. Like Bill Clinton, fine. Bill just keep it all at arm's length.
Back.
I'm not getting in the ring with this guy.
He got gloves on me.
Listen, I did my business, and I live with Hillary, sort of.
You see how bad he beat up my wife?
I don't want any part of this.
That's right.
The way you beat Donald Trump is don't play his game.
That's right.
Because everyone who plays the game goes crazy. This is Kamala Harris. This is the talk about the ballroom. All right? These people have been so broken by Donald Trump that a ballroom, an extension, a renovation to the White House draws them off sides.
Are you kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, does the guy have a big hammer? What about those babies?
How about get your colleagues to open up the government? Seems to be pretty easy. You only need to convince 4. Of the 50, you only need to convince 4.
You know who's not broken by Donald Trump? Fetterman.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah. He's the most common sense of all of them. He's the one that least out loud, voting record different, but out loud says all kinds of things that make a lot of sense. Unlike her, are you effing kidding me? I love the fact that she said, I'm not distracted by the ballroom as she's talking about the ballroom.
Talking about the ballroom. It's like that person who knows, we all have that friend, we all have that relative, that grandparent, somebody.
That aunt.
That knows how to get at you. And so, like, I have one, I choose not to interact with her because it's just annoying. And I know that this person will take me off my game. Normally cold, calculated. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Have a good time.
For whatever reason,
she just irritates me.
She's the one.
That the person can irritate me.
I get it.
All right, Donald Trump is that irritant to all of these people, and yet they can't stop scratching it.
Need that salve we were talking about.
Need that Trump salve.
What about those babies?
Ask your party to open the government.
Hold on to that one for forever.
For forever.
What about those babies?
But the government shutdown, whether she could convince them to open it up or not, I don't know. But I'm telling you, you had the Federal Workers Union saying, accept the clean CR. They used Republican language to direct that at Democrats. But they're not the only ones. It wasn't just the federal workers. Now it's getting into the private sector, Los. Now you're having private sector CEOs say this has to come to an end.
This is so surprising because we've talked about how important that traditionally the Teamsters have been and unions in general, and that we do draw a line of delineation. The public sector unions, we have a hard time with that because you're negotiating against the American people.
Yeah, private, whatever.
Private sector unions, if you need to unionize in order to feel like you get a better deal, go for it. Do your thing.
Not my thing, but if it's yours,
not my thing.
Man. But this America, I love it. Go.
Yeah, fine.
Do whatever you want to do.
I remember doing some work when I was first out of college, some web design. And I got approached for, hey, you need to join the union. I was like, I'm not really here for that long. Well, I'm at the strength of numbers. It's like, I don't. And I remember I was told, well, if you get in any kind of trouble around here, you're not going to have any help. It's like, what a weird strong arm tactic.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's like the mafia.
How strange is this? So to see and to hear these union bosses, these people that run these industries that typically have a majority of people voting Democrat, they are turning on the Democrats. Take a listen.
Really thanking the professionals, the air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management. They're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of air traffic control shortages. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks this had no impact on the economy. But as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy. And we start to see still minor, but steep booking impact. And you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days. And while I don't have a position on which partisan side and how things should be settled with health care, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a clean CR. Use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors.
That is not a Republican.
Love the fact that he said clean CR, though.
That is the CEO of United Airlines. All right? Like, these are people that run industries, and they're the ones pointing at the Democrats saying, just get the clean CR done.
He said, I'm putting politics aside. I'm not trying to get political.
But
yet uses the Republican language.
Yeah.
Which is very political.
Which, again, you have the Teamsters using it. You have the airlines using it.
Yeah, the Federal Workers Union.
Yeah, the Federal Workers Union. They're all using the Republican talking points of just get back here. Vote on this. Get back to work. And if you want to have, and as we talk about it, the arena of ideas, if you have a different idea, enter the arena of ideas and let's discuss it.
But they can't.
No.
Because they fail to make the case to the American people. The American people know why the government shut down. It's showing up in polling. There's no confusion. The Democrats, they know they're losing this, but they're so afraid of the 18% of the craziest leftist loonies in their entire party that they're like, I don't care what you say, CEO. I don't care what you say, Teamster. I don't care what you say, federal worker. I don't care. I'm beholden to these crazy ideals, and I cannot let them go. I can't turn them loose, as my daddy used to say.
I think this is the last push. I thought we would be done with this by this week. Once you had the public sector unions had started turning on the Democrats, that's when I thought, okay, this is over. The federal unions are turning on the Democrats. This is over. They seem like they're doing the Hail Mary of let's see if the SNAP benefits ends up being the trick that might break the Republicans.
It's not going to.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not going to. Because the Democrats could at any point give 4 votes and open the government up, and it solves the problem. Everybody knows that. There's no confusion by that. So that's going to fail too. Then, even after that fails, will there be another Hail Mary? Will there be another, oh my gosh, let's try to work around this? Or will they finally do the right thing? I don't know the answer. Maybe it goes all the way until Thanksgiving. That's what some people behind the scenes are saying. Thanksgiving. Can you imagine another full month?
Another full month of this? Yeah.
And they just take a beating. They just continue to take a... Fine by me.
I can't imagine it goes another month, but I'm telling you, the Democrat Party...
I can't either, but...
The Democrat Party is a suicide pact. It's what it's become.
That's right.
So, I mean, what do cult suicide pacts do?
They kill each other.
Commit suicide.
They commit suicide. Yeah, they kill themselves. Everybody else and themselves, too. They will go down with the ship. And that's what seems to be happening. Up next, an extra flashback. Climate alarmism. Another climate nightmare scenario that never came true. Next on the Morning Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 31st. Your college football weekend for the locals begins tomorrow afternoon. Fifth-ranked Georgia is in Jacksonville for their yearly matchup with Florida. Florida is unranked this season. This time around, that game will kick off at 3:30. As for 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, they're on the road taking on a 4-4 NC State team. That game will kick off tomorrow evening at 7:30. You can hear that game live on our sister station and their brand new app, 680 The Fan. As for the World Series, it could end tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays lead the series 3-2 over the LA Dodgers. Game 6 will begin with first pitch in Toronto at 8 o'clock. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
This fall, the gridiron calls, which means you'll be road tripping to games across the South, and you'll need a reliable ride to get you there. And Subaru of Gwinnett has the vehicle for you. But a new car, truck, or SUV from Subaru of Gwinnett is about way more than just getting to the games. It's about getting the family home. It's about getting to work safely, but it's also about getting the most out of every adventure. If you're driven by an adventurous heart, the 2025 Subaru Outback shares your spirit with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Or maybe it's the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. It holds the road with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, and it holds everything you need for the tailgate. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and let your adventurous mind run wild. Then stop in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth.
Georgia Tech women's basketball single-game tickets for the 2025-2026 season are on sale now. Secure your seats in McCamus Pavilion to watch head coach Karen Blair and the Yellow Jackets take on ACC opponents like North Carolina, Stanford, and Louisville. Save your seats to watch head coach Karen Blair and the Yellow Jackets back at the Thrillerdome this season by visiting RamlinRack.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on Talk Radio 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
I'm Ashley DeVorkin with a special Halloween-timed Fox profile with Fandango's Eric Davis and a few recent rewatch recommendations.
I'm going to go back to some new classics this year. I feel like in the past when we've talked about this, I've gone all the way back to like the original Halloween, which of course is great. But you know, there are some new classics that we should be talking about. 28 Days Later is a film that I think everybody should go watch if you haven't already, partly because we just got a sequel in 28 Years Later, and then we're going to get a sequel to 28 Years Later in January called The Bone Temple.
You love It Follows.
I love this film. I think it is so scary, but it's also so inventive. This is another film that does have a sequel coming called They Follow, so I do think you should catch up on it before that sequel comes out.
For a flip the genre choice, return to The Cabin in the Woods.
It's sort of inspired by Scream in some ways, but this one takes a look at the typical cabin in the woods slasher movie.
Ashley DeVorkin, Fox News.
Extra 106.3 personalities aren't afraid to tell it like it is.
Without Donald Trump, nothing that's going on would be happening right now. Donald Trump is changing the world.
And you'll never hear us spew that violent rhetoric from the left. So don't be afraid to tell it like it is, because we're happy to have you as part of the Extra community.
I particularly like Donald Trump's actions in getting illegal aliens the hell out of this country.
Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. We're going to do momentarily a flashback, an extra flashback that the climate alarmists have been telling you that's coming, the pending doom that comes along with it.
We're going back to when you and I were young children.
Yes, that's right. And one of our favorite places would no longer be with us. Tell you about that in just a moment. First, I want to tell you about a picture I saw. I saw a picture. No, not the Sydney Sweeney one, no.
What's up?
Hey, girl.
Impressive.
How you doing? Good.
Man, I'm wearing a Cookie Monster suit. It's hot in this thing.
It's warm in here. No, this one was actually of the owner of this company.
I heard about this.
Colin Wheat showed me, our sales manager, our GSM, showed me this picture of the owner of this company who went with his lovely wife to a Halloween party last night. And they, of course, dressed up and they went all in. And it was impressive. He dressed up as Bill Belichick. His wife dressed up as the very young girlfriend that Bill Belichick has. David's wearing, a North Carolina sweatshirt. He's got the headset on like he would be on the sidelines. His sweet wife is dressed, like a beautiful young co-ed. And their costume was a grand slam. If there was a costume contest, they would have won.
I really wish he would show up today.
That'd be so awesome.
But
so awesome. Something tells me he'll come in a shirt and tie.
Much more professional in the work environment.
That's right. Shirt and tie, just because he's always A+. Always
not like
on
you
top
and
of
I.
No, not like the bums that he employs. He's like, I've got to employ these boys because otherwise they'd probably live in a ditch.
What else will they do?
I was sitting here on the other side of the glass, and I told Los out in the hallway a minute ago, I'm listening to deep insight and analysis of the economy and the unions and how we're going to get this government opened back up. And it's coming out of the mouth of Cookie Monster's head.
It's
tough to take serious.
Just so you know, it's custom. So my mom made this.
She made that?
About 13 years ago or so.
No wonder it's lasted.
My oldest wanted to be Cookie Monster for Halloween. And I asked my mom, hey, could you make me so that we're kind of matching? And so I was able to find, the Cookie Monster pullover thing. But the head, she built it all.
And it looks like they belong together.
They do. She made this part
too. Oh, she made that too. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, got it.
So and then she made my daughters as well.
Wow.
So
is she a seamstress by trade?
She's always just been really good at being able to make costumes.
That's quality craftsmanship.
Yeah, she did a good job. That's why, it's so crazy to see the size of the eyes and the head. And you're like, where'd you get that? I'm like, the moms put it together.
Have a cookie or two.
Maybe so. Two, specifically. Because
I brought you cookies. I brought cookies for you guys.
Cookie Monster ain't showing up without cookies. That'd be crazy.
Oh, it's silly.
It'd be
Who does
absolutely nuts. The only thing that I didn't bring was a bottle of rum. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me.
I was just going to say, it would fit the attire.
I may have one at my desk, however.
You might want to chase the fries. We might see what kind of work you can put in.
Seriously, you can't ever tell. We're going up to the mountains, doing an Airbnb with a couple of different families, and just to wind down a little bit up in McKaysville, Georgia, which is up on the North Carolina line. Beautiful up there. May have a bottle of Bacardi ready to go, just to lay back, and hang out a little bit. But, it's funny how nothing lasts like it used to. And this costume's 13 years old. There's nothing better than handmade. Nothing. There's nothing better than, created. I'm always so impressed by people who can do things like that because I don't have that ability. My fine motor skills never developed. Maybe one day, but probably not. I just think it's cool, man.
I think I'll post this. So this was the picture of what my, at the time, 1-year-old was wearing that day.
So precious. And the pacifier.
And the pacifier with like a mouth and teeth.
Yeah,
and so we were, so I was big Cookie Monster. Yeah. Mommy was a Cookie Monster, and she was a Cookie Monster.
What a great character, too. You want to talk about characters? Like, I know Sesame Street, they've been, PBS got all crazy and wacky with this legendary thing that was created by Jim Henson. And it's still, the characters are so vivid. I always loved Big Bird, and I loved Oscar the Grouch, and I loved Cookie Monster and Count. Those characters were so ingrained. And Kermit the Frog, occasionally Kermit the Frog pop up. Again, crossover, same family. It breaks my heart to know that people would inject politics in something so innocent and perfect, but yet they did.
Well, what about weather? You want to talk about injecting politics into things?
Yeah, things.
That's something that would be completely ridiculous.
Absolutely right.
All right, let's flash back. Oh, we're going back in time. The year is 1983, and we have a very young-looking Dan Rather. Now, Dan Rather cut his teeth as a young reporter during the Vietnam War. He was on the ground, and that was Dan Rather. When you had the Tet Offensive, Dan Rather was there. When you had the fall of Saigon, Dan Rather was there. And now Dan Rather is at the news desk for CBS. And he's now one of those guys that when Dan Rather says it, it means it's religion. It's the news. It is what is going to happen. Because Dan Rather's been telling you the truth since being on the ground during that Vietnam War. So here's 1983 and a report about what is coming to this country.
Concern about rising temperatures on planet Earth heated up a hearing here in Washington today. For years, scientists have theorized about the dangers of the so-called greenhouse effect, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere due to the burning of coal and oil. And in recent months, as David Culhane reports, research has uncovered facts to support that theory.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously. And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world. Climate changes could produce widespread disruption of agriculture. The American farm belt might be too dry, and the wheat and corn crops would have to move to Canada. Scientists blame the odorless, colorless carbon dioxide gas for these potentially dangerous changes around the planet. It is the greenhouse effect. The gas allows sunlight to filter down and warm the earth. But like the glass of a greenhouse, the carbon dioxide tends to trap heat so that it cannot rise into space. The scientists maintain that the coal, oil, and gas we've been burning for 100 years have produced more and more carbon dioxide and helped overheat the Earth. Now, some political leaders endorse the demands for more CO2 monitoring stations, like this one in Hawaii. And they share the anger of the scientists at Reagan administration budget cuts at a time when they feel closer to getting definitive answers.
We are not doing the kind of research that we should be doing to determine whether or not these scientists who are so alarmed are correct in their assessment.
And what they find out will affect the lives and fortunes of millions of people, the very survival of cities like this one. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
Y'all are all going to die.
Step back. Oh, my gosh.
Be
afraid. Be very afraid.
It's been 42 years.
Yeah.
Until we had this week where even Bill Gates was like, yeah, none of it's happening. We're going to focus somewhere else. That's not really how it is. Climate change, or in this case, it wasn't even global. We haven't even gotten to global warming.
No.
We had the greenhouse effect.
Right.
We hadn't even gotten to the ozone layer, which was a few years later when they're like, well, this is not happening the way we thought it was going to happen. But yet, when we found ways to burn coal cleanly without the particulates, then they were like, we got to move on to something else.
We got to hurry.
Well, and notice, it's an attack on capitalism.
Right.
The oil and gas industry.
Must take them down.
It's always an attack on capitalism. And so, what has happened this week?
Bill Gates softening his tone on the dangers of climate change.
It's over, baby.
The hoax.
It's over. The 40-year fad, the 50-year fad, it's done, baby. Over.
Stick a fork in it. It's done.
In fact, when your Aunt Peg brings it up, being like, that's old news, baby girl.
What you talking about?
Bill Gates even told you it's not a problem.
Did you quit listening to Bill Gates?
I thought he was one of the world's richest men. He knows more than you do, right?
Of course he does.
He's focusing on vaccines. Go get as many of them as you want.
Yes, that's right. That's the next push. That's where he feels like his next push will be. Other than the Morning Extra, you did not hear about Operation Arctic Frost. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. Next on Extra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Okay, I got about 2 minutes to rant about Democrats and this shutdown, the Schumer shutdown. How pathetic can they be? They couldn't win the presidential election. They couldn't win the House of Representatives. They couldn't win the Senate. They have nothing, and they're desperate. Their popularity rating is steadily going down. They are becoming a Marxist, socialist party, and they're desperate. They need a victory so bad. So maybe they can go to the extreme of shutting down a good portion of our government so that not do something they promised to do years ago, and that is to let these COVID-era Obamacare subsidies expire as they were supposed to. So how far will they go? They will keep poor people from having food on the table in order to provide health care to illegal aliens. They will not pay air traffic controllers and perhaps put our airports and airways into chaos because they want to provide free health care to illegal aliens. They will put American lives at jeopardy. They will fail to pay government workers because they want to give free health care to illegal aliens. They will punish the American public because they want money from the American public to pay for health care for illegal aliens. There's no rhyme or reason to this, my friends. It is a political party in desperate shape, begging for relevance again and facing a dismal future because of stunts just like this. How in the hell can a sane American with an IQ above 100 vote to keep these idiots in power? Neil Bortz, I'll calm down now. Extra 106.3.
Atlanta legends are only on Extra 106.3 with the one and only Kimmer on your ride home every afternoon.
Candy corn, it's like official candy corn, is the #1 worldwide thing. I can't believe it. It's like wax. It's wax.
That's the most disgusting. It's like it's little baby suppository. Who would eat that?
It's the Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
It's day 31 of the government shutdown. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and there's not even a Senate vote scheduled today trying to end the standoff. House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox.
The Democrats have voted 14 times now to prolong all this pain on the American people. And it's so frustrating to us. That's what you see reflected in the president's Truth post last night about the filibuster. We just want this to end.
No, on Truth Social, the president urged Republican senators to play the Trump card and get rid of the filibuster the Democrats have been using to block funding as Democrats demand Republicans add a provision to extend Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of the year and drive up the cost of coverage for millions of Americans. Millions more Americans could lose food stamp assistance starting tomorrow because of the shutdown. A lawsuit, though, is trying to force the Trump administration to dip into emergency contingency funds. Federal workers remain unpaid, including air traffic controllers who have to keep working.
A lot of our people can go through the miss of one paycheck, and it's hard for them, but a lot of them can get through it. None of them can get through 2 paychecks.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Many controllers have called out sick, a big factor in more than 20,000 flight delays this week alone. It's Halloween, and something in Michigan might have been scary for real. FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X that this morning they thwarted a potential terrorist attack, arresting multiple people in Michigan. He wrote, "We're allegedly plotting something violent over the weekend," and he said more details are coming. Israel's turned over the remains of 30 Palestinians after Hamas handed over the bodies of 2 more dead hostages kidnapped in the October 2023 terror attack that triggered the war in Israel. Hamas still has 11 others.
Hamas has now returned the remains of 17 hostages, and Israel has returned the bodies of 195 Palestinians to authorities in Gaza. As part of the ceasefire deal, it's accusing Hamas of violating, saying they're delaying handing over bodies. Hamas is saying it's difficult to retrieve the bodies because of the destruction in Gaza.
That's Fox's Lillian Wu. America's listening to Fox News.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms do apply.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry. Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
No need for traffic updates. We always steer you right. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
Buddy, it don't get no better than on a Halloween listening to Ghostbusters. I remember watching this movie in the theater as a youngin', the very first Ghostbusters. It was awesome.
Didn't he have to pay somebody for making this song? Who you gonna call? I recall that there's some issue with somebody claimed ownership of it.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, it's a classic. I mean, you hear the opening part and you're like, that's Ghostbusters.
Yes, immediately. As soon as it starts. So good, though, dude. I ain't afraid of no ghost. I do remember there was a point in Ghostbusters, because I was, 84? So I was like 6 or 7 years old, I guess. And there was a couple scenes in Ghostbusters I remember as a 7-year-old being like, creepy.
All right, so Huey Lewis sued Ray Parker Jr., claiming that this song, copyright infringement based off of Lewis's song, I Want a New Drug.
I do now. Now I kind of remember this. I just remember
hearing about that story that, man, did you hear that Huey Lewis says that this dude ripped him off?
Right. And you play there's probably something that sounds similar, but I don't know how these days everybody don't sue everybody, because let's be honest, most everything's been done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really difficult.
It's very difficult to have something where you go,
well, that's unique.
Really new. That's part of the reason. Now, I didn't like it at the time, but I can now go back and listen to Radiohead Kid A.
Great.
Where intentionally, we're not going to play any of the instruments we ever play, and we're just going to see where it goes. And the lyrics might not even make sense. And that record is so cool.
It is.
Because of that reason. And I didn't like it one bit at the time. I wanted to hear Radiohead. I want you to rock my face off.
Creep or High and Dry. Fake Plastic Trees.
I wanted all of it. And then I got Kid A. I'm like, oh, this is different. And now I look back and I'm like, okay, that's really cool.
They were way ahead of their time. They were so far. I tell you another band that was really, really ahead of its time. And that's David Byrne. And those guys, were huge. It's crazy how far ahead David Byrne was. And, just the stuff that he was able to do with Talking Heads. And you listen to it today, and it's still like, man, if that were brand new now, it would still kind of fit in.
It's unique when you can put together, it's an arrangement, it's lyrically, it's what does it sound like, and you go, oh, that's different. Like when you hear it, you're like, that's different.
Burning down the house. So good.
I mean, I just had to bring it up. Everything in Its Right Place by Radiohead.
Yeah.
If you can identify what they're playing in there
good
and
luck.
what the song means,
Good luck.
Like, good luck to you, but it's a great song.
Yeah, that whole record is cool. That was kind of the end of them commercially, though.
Yeah, at that point, it's kind of what it was.
And I think they were fine with it. They were fine with not being.
Yeah, try and get tickets to a show.
Yeah, no, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Pearl Jam, same way. And they kind of quit doing the whole, we're going to make commercial music. We're going to make things that we know will get played.
Yeah, like I love Dark Matter. They're a great record. And their current record. And I went probably about 10 years where I was like, okay, it's an okay record. It's okay. This last one, I was like, that's cool.
It is.
Like, I really like that record.
Dude, that song, Dark Matter's great. The tour was great, man. They do stuff that most people don't. That's why they're still around. It's crazy to think that Eddie Vedder's the one of all those grunge bands.
Lasted.
He's the only one alive.
He's alive.
Goodness.
And they're still doing their thing and doing it well.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. It just doesn't seem like it's been 30 plus years.
I mean, when I started seeing
goes by quick.
When they did hey, this is the 30-year anniversary for Pearl Jam 10, I was like, what?
Yeah, was that 92?
It happened?
So
yeah.
22, yeah.
Like, we'll be hitting the 35-year anniversary of Pearl Jam 10, the next one up.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, dude. What great albums, what great music.
I didn't know about the Ray Parker Huey Lewis lawsuit. I couldn't hear it in my head, but this is pretty damning. All right, we all know this. We just played this.
Yep.
Now here you go. It's right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you got a case.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you sure do. And do we know if he won or not? What was the result of the lawsuit? Because I remember it, but I didn't until Los brought it up. I hadn't thought about it in years and years and years. But I don't know what ultimately happened. Did Huey win? Did Ray Parker Jr. win? We'll let you.
The lawsuit was settled out of court in 1985. A confidentiality agreement was signed, preventing both parties from discussing the case.
Huh. How about that? So somebody exchanged some money, and we moved and went. Because
listen, you're going to get your cut.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it moving.
That's right. You get. You know what happened with Bittersweet Symphony, The Verve?
How do I remember that there was something along those lines?
Rolling Stones.
Okay.
And it wasn't. And the crazy thing was, it wasn't the actual Rolling Stones like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards suing for copyright infringement. It was the band's management that did it. And later down the road, because they I mean, that was obviously a gigantic hit. And they took Richard Ashcraft to the cleaners. They took all his money, everything he had made off of that song. And then a couple years ago, and I'm sure it's more than a couple, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, the Rolling Stones restored his rights to that, so he's now able to make a living. Because that wasn't what they wanted to do. The management did it.
The one that I still remember was Coldplay when they were sued for Viva La Vida, and the band that said, like, and basically accused them. They were in the club when we played this song.
They stole it.
And they stole it. And then when they played their version, you're like, oh, yeah. Coldplay really didn't, I mean, obviously lyrically, but the sound of the song was like spot on.
Stairway to Heaven. You know, I mean, there's been so many people over the years who've been accused of ripping it off. And if you play Stairway to Heaven next to the song Taurus, which, if I'm not mistaken, the band Taurus toured with Led Zeppelin or recorded with them. There was some connection to them. Led Zeppelin goes on to have Stairway to Heaven, and Taurus is like, whoa, 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 whoa. And you play those songs side by side, and you're like, ooh, yeah, I think they did. I think they probably did. I don't know if there was ever any resolution to that, but
you can't sue me. I don't steal.
That's right. That's right. Well, you've stolen a character this morning.
Well, it's Cookie Monster. It's different.
You've stolen Cookie Monster.
I'm honoring Cookie Monster.
Right. That's right. That's more like it.
That's right.
Bringing cookies in.
It's not. I'm not one of those bands. I'm a tribute band.
That's right. Exactly.
Not a cover band.
That's right. And a lot of times, crazy, I brought this up before, if you want to see Bon Jovi, go see Slippery When Wet.
Go see Slippery When Wet at this point.
They are so good. They sound like what you want Bon Jovi to sound like. They sound like Bon Jovi in 87 through like 93 or something. And now, you know, John Bon Jovi, he's had that throat surgery which he's recovering from, is great, and they're going to tour again, but he's not capable of singing those high notes the way he did then. So they changed the arrangement of the songs, and it's okay. It's fine. But if you want to see Bon Jovi,
you want that experience,
go see Slippery When Wet, the cover band. They are exceptional.
Sir, it's a tribute band.
It's a tribute band. Yes.
Tribute band.
There we go. Let me get that right. Let me say that correctly. Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. We cover things, or tribute. Maybe I should say tribute. No, we cover things here that most people don't. Most people did not pick up the Arctic Frost story. And let me tell you some of the names. Now, it won't be surprising to you. But Operation Arctic Frost got zero coverage from any of the networks. I mean, zero. NBC, ABC, CBS, New York Times, nor the Washington Post found this level of government weaponization and this level of corruption. They didn't find it important enough to write about, talk about, do segments or stories on. Nothing. No one. Except here on Extra.
If we consider that, I know I've done the Teapot Dome scandal as far as like making money off something. All right, the Bidens put that to shame. Like that's like small potatoes. It's nothing. If we consider Watergate to be some huge political story.
Well, it's the biggest. Or it has been presented as the biggest corruption story in American history.
Of having the plumbers break into the Watergate Hotel and look to grab intelligence in the way that they were going to. What happens when you've done that at least 160 times using the power of the federal government?
Seems like it'd be something people would be
kind of seems important.
At least interested in, curious about.
If you were to, let's say, tap the phone lines of sitting senators because
how many? One?
Probably 9. Wow. 9 of them, including Ted Cruz, and you make it a point to find a judge who then tells AT&T he might destroy evidence, so nobody inform him.
You can't tell him.
Well, what evidence? What are you on a witch hunt for?
We're not sure.
We're
looking for the crime
to collect intelligence to go after their political rivals. This makes Watergate look like a little drip from a faucet, whereas this is like Niagara Falls of crime.
This is Hurricane Melissa.
Yes,
of crime. And it makes me wonder then, because they've written no articles about Arctic Frost.
It's so bad they won't cover it at all. At all.
But it makes me wonder, Los, do they cover the potential, what they would call the weaponization of the justice system under Donald Trump? I wonder how many, and I don't have the answer, but I bet it's a lot, how many times they've talked about Donald Trump weaponizing the government to go after his political enemies. It seems like something that they would write a lot about.
I mean, this is a group of people, the Merrick Garlands of the world, the Christopher Wrays of the world. This is the deep state. This is a huge part of it. These are the people that looked at the MyPillow guy and said, we have to spy on him too.
We're going to get that MyPillow fella.
They went after Mike Lindell the same way they went after Turning Point USA, the same way they went after Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Marsha Blackburn.
American citizens.
Yes. This is the Banana Republic. This is what was going on. When you knew, like in your mind, you're like, there's something not right about what's going on in this country.
Right.
Like I thought about, and I've joked around about it before, I thought about going home and turning my flag upside down when they decided, let's arrest Donald Trump.
Distress.
I was like, we have a problem here. And I had friends of mine who did it and sent me the pictures. I was like, good for you. You knew something was wrong. You didn't know how wrong it was. But Arctic Frost is one of the biggest scandals that we've ever had, and they won't touch it. No one in the mainstream media will even get near it.
The upside-down American flag is a signal of dire distress, according to the U.S. flag code, originally used by United States Navy sailors to signal extreme danger, in their case at sea, in the case of Arctic Frost on land, inside of the 50 United States, but predominantly in Washington, D.C., with a weaponized DOJ. I mean, think about the depths of this. Think about how sinister it is and how it could happen again if these people are not held to account. Because they're going to be like, oh, we got away with it. next time we're going to do it even worse.
So I've enjoyed, there's a Netflix documentary on what basically it's how the FBI was trying to take down the Philadelphia Mafia. And it was Philly versus the mob. Like, it's really cool. 3-part series. I'm into part 3. And one of the issues that you have is that when the Justice Department starts explaining, first off, we need a reason to be in that room and surveilling that room. And this is a mafia hangout. And there's also limits on what they can look for and the time that they can be there. So, for instance, they might bug a room, and if they don't get anything for 30 days, that bug's got to come out. Like, that's the end of that. But they also, when they do the surveillance, they have to put in for what are we searching for? How are we getting this warrant, this ability to survey? And they're very specific about, we believe it's organized crime, we believe it's... So there's a thing called a predicate. The problem is with Arctic Frost, there was no predicate.
Yeah, that gave them the right
to do this.
Yeah.
There was no, hey, we suspect Ted Cruz of espionage. It's like, no, we need this. Well, why?
Can't tell you.
States.
Yeah.
State secret.
Yeah.
Don't want him to start getting rid of evidence. Okay, so what is this one about Mike Lindell? Can't tell you.
State secret. Top secret. We've printed out some top secret 8.5 by 11 to put on there.
So the government has to give a reason,
of course,
to the Department of Justice in order to be able to bug in a mafia hangout, yet to go after sitting senators, members of Congress. It's like no predicate needed.
And the judge was like,
you got it because he was in on it.
That's exactly right. The only thing you can compare it to, like in a local case to make it make sense, is if, let's say the Cobb County Sheriff's Department or whatever, they were saying, you know what, I think something is going on down the road at one of these buildings next to Truist Park. We think something's happening there. They can't just go kick in the door. They got to go get a warrant. They've got to give some judge the reason that these things that they believe are happening, present the evidence and say, here, judge, here's why we think it's happening. And the judge then would say, boys, I'm sorry, that's not enough evidence. I don't believe it. I'm not giving you that warrant. Or vice versa. You've proven your case. There's predicate for this.
We'll look into it.
We're going to give you the warrant. You go look into it. No predicate.
Didn't exist.
We didn't need a warrant. We're just going to tap their phones and then tell AT&T, now you can't tell anybody.
One of the other funny ones, because there's times when he's just out there bat-ass crazy. I enjoy when Alex Jones twists off. And I enjoy when he goes down his conspiracy roads. I'm like, this guy, like, I think I'm pretty fun when it comes to some of mine. Like, this guy takes it to a whole new level. He wasn't wrong about the government spying on him. He's in the document dump. There's a private citizen who has an internet radio show. And they're tracking him to find out, like, hey, what's he involved in? Right. When you had Tucker Carlson talk about them tapping his phone and getting access to his chats and spying on him, you're like, well, what were you up to, Tucker? Nothing. None of them were up to anything. This was just huge drag. How do we take out our political opponents? This was third world banana republic. When they always say, like, Trump's going to be a dictator. No, I saw a dictator.
I know what that looks like.
I saw what it was for 4 years.
And I saw a compliant media not tell you the truth about it.
And then they laid it at the feet of an old man with dementia and cancer.
Because they could.
Because they could.
And he had no way to argue it. And look, he may not have argued it, even if he was in good sound mind. It wouldn't surprise me if he went right along with it.
Is it not the perfect storm? When you have a president that you don't have to explain anything to because he's not really in charge, but it all falls at his feet?
He's sitting over there on the couch eating an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
And you're doing the dirty work over here.
Because you imagine any other person who is in charge, who is the chief executive, is like, you're not doing this in my name. You're not doing this under my... Like, I found out this is over. They didn't have to worry about that.
No, he wasn't going to notice.
It was the perfect storm to have true dictatorship in this country. To have true, when it comes to the Gestapo, hey, it's ICE. No, it's the people in the deep state who are taking a look at Tucker Carlson's phone.
Actual dictatorship.
This is the Cheka. Yeah. This is the state police.
And they were coming after you and me and everybody else. Do not ever let them have that power again, because they will try it again. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind they'll try it as soon as they have an opportunity. Can you imagine how it's going to be in New York City when they have a communist as the mayor?
It's coming.
What kind of... Because he's already said we need to get rid of the police again.
It is kind of delicious that Kathy Hochul is like kind of turning on him like, no, you're not taxing people the way you say you are. I'm like, ooh, getting good.
It is.
Getting good.
But then she gave him an endorsement after doing that.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre thing in the world to see. Ryan Clark is stupid. Next on Extra.
Wherever you are in Georgia, you can stream Extra 106.3 and crystal clear digital with the all-new Extra 106.3 app. Get Extra's live on-air stream in real time, or go back and listen to all your favorite shows, Neil Bortz, or original podcasts, no matter where you go. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage. We do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey, this is Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. So things are deceiving sometimes, and it's hard to explain how much money I can really save you. I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. I mean, let's be realistic. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000, but it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%, or really it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. So the beauty of what we do is we don't put you on a car that we have to sell. We put you on a car that you want. And at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car. Call 1-844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank, and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bankshares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bankshares, member FDIC.
It's back and bigger than ever. The Fan and Extra 106.3 small business event is now a casino night. Thursday, November 20th, your business can play, network, and win. With your table sponsorship, you'll get mentions in all event promos, a commercial schedule, chips to play, and a shot at marketing prizes worth up to $50,000. So don't wait. Email biz@680thefan.com. That's BIZ at 680thefan.com. Lock in your spot for casino night before the tables are gone.
This is Governor Brian Kemp.
Georgians are used to affordable, reliable energy because of the good work of the Public Service Commission. As your commissioner, Tim Echols secured a 3-year Georgia Power rate freeze and made sure our state's growth isn't hitting your wallet. Tim's keeping rates down and money in your pocket and standing against the Democrats who want hardworking Georgians to pay over $800 more per year. Keep Tim Echols in the fight by voting early or on Election Day, November the 4th.
Georgians First Leadership Committee paid for this ad.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 31st. The Atlanta Community Food Bank is activating its crisis response plan as SNAP benefits will be paused this weekend due to the ongoing government shutdown. The food bank will draw from its $5 million emergency reserve to purchase over 6 million pounds of food to distribute in November. The food will go to over 700 food pantries around 29 counties in North Georgia. The Cobb Board of Commissioners voted to extend its current agreement with Must Ministries to provide a warming shelter this winter. The $108,000 allocation will help keep the Hope House operating through March. The Marietta-based nonprofit opens its warming shelter on nights when temperatures fall below 35 degrees. It also helps families with food, transportation, and workforce training. And Zoo Atlanta is getting some new guests. Olive the ostrich and Naomi the zebra will soon be a part of the zoo's African Savannah exhibit. Zoo Atlanta staff say the new animals will help socialize the current zoo residents. Today's weather sunny and clear for Halloween. We'll have a high of 63. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. They're doing a full remodel for someone this holiday season. Make someone's day. A full James Hardy remodel on the siding of their home. You register at southernexteriors.co. There is a red tab in the top. Christmas giveaway, southernexteriors.co.
You know, Tug, there are people that, when it comes to doing the race baiting correctly,
yeah,
you know, I get it. Like Al Sharpton's made a career out of everything's racist, but you've got to do it in a smart way in order to really kind of hold on. It's like the boy who cries wolf.
After a while, it catches up.
After a while, everyone says, well, nothing's racist. If everything's racist, right, then what's the big deal?
It's kind of like the climate change thing that we talked about earlier.
If everything's climate change, nothing's climate change.
Well, that, and if
everyone ignores it.
If it never happens.
Right. And so I think about like a person like Jamel Hill. ESPN, during the first Trump administration, tried to kind of do woke sports. And of the two people they selected, there was Michael Smith, and he's just like I've met him before at the Senior Bowl. Just a good dude. And he was doing kind of a show. It had a little bit of I would say it had a little bit more of an edge to it. It wasn't all buttoned up. And it was kind of fun. Well, on the other end of it was Jamel that was turning everything into Trump's a problem.
And everything's racist.
You know, like, now, I think she does it in a way where it's a tired old bit. But she's a smart woman. What happens, though, when everything's racist, that's your bit, and you're stupid?
Well, that sounds problematic.
Right? Because when everything's racist and you're smart like Jamel Hill, when you're a sharp person, you can make the argument. You know, Sonny Hostin on The View, sharp woman, everything's racist. And yet, but you're like, all right, you know, it's that's when the whores come in. That you get a little bit like, okay, here we go, I get it. But she might make a point where you go, all right, I don't really think that way. I think that's ridiculous. But since you see everything as race, that's fine. Then there's a guy like Ryan Clark, former NFL safety who appears every morning on ESPN. And in this case, I'll just tell you, because you won't be able to see it. But when Ryan Clark starts to make his political point that he gets into, the look on Stephen A. Smith's face at the table is one of, this guy is an idiot. Like, how am I stuck here at this table with this? It'd be like your grandma at Christmas who starts ranting and raving about her black neighbor. You'd be like, oh my God, like, grandma, stop. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like, that's the sort of stuff where you're like, I don't agree with you. I don't want any part of this. And that's what Ryan Clark did in reference to Charlie Kirk. I want you to listen to this again. Remember, everyone else's face at the table is, oh my God, grandma, like, stop doing that.
First off, it's the second most ridiculous thing he said this week. The first was standing on campus and saying he wanted to put a statue up of somebody that doesn't represent the people of Louisiana, doesn't represent the players and the students at LSU, doesn't represent the executives that work there. That was the first dumb thing he said this week. This is the second dumbest, right? Amongst a lot of dumb things that he says. Scott Woodard, for whatever he is a man who got Jay Johnson, right? Last I checked, the 2025 Louisiana State University Tiger baseball team was in the White House getting the GAT recently, right? He was there in 2019 when it's one of the greatest college football teams of all time. He also was there when he said, you know what, we're gonna go out and get Kim Mulkey, right? She brings a championship to the school with Angel Reese and with Flau'jae Johnson. And so to me, this is another situation of politicians poking their nose into things that they don't know about. And I honestly believe it was so he could get in front of a microphone and say, look at this connection I have to the president, and he likes to pick winners so he could placate to somebody he idolizes. You don't know nothing about football. There's enough going on in the state of Louisiana that needs to be fixed for its constituents. Well, I don't need you tweeting on Saturday night about what's going on in Tiger Stadium. There is too many issues happening right there under your nose that ain't got nothing to do with sports. Scott Woodard is a good man. Scott Woodard is a man that cares about LSU. In the greatest times, back in the day, he understood what it was like to be a part of a winner, and he's brought more winners back to the school. He didn't miss because Brian Kelly wasn't capable. He missed because Brian Kelly was no longer willing. Brian Kelly was no longer tapped in. Brian Kelly didn't care if the people of Louisiana cared about him, and he didn't care if the players knew that he cared about them. That's where it went wrong. Not in picking a man who was the winningest all-time coach in Notre Dame history. And so for me, it's emotional, clearly, and it pisses me off, but Scott Woodard deserves to pick the next head coach, and the governor should stay out of it.
So let me clarify a little bit. The governor talked about on the campus at LSU, hey, the athletic director has screwed this up twice. It's a state university. We should be involved in picking the coach. He also talked about in the era of talking about campus free speech, we should have a Charlie Kirk statue out here. And that's where Ryan Clark had the first problem. When he started talking, he didn't say he didn't say Charlie Kirk, but that's what he was referring to about this being stupid. This doesn't represent anybody on this campus. And then he goes into his sports point. But the look on everyone's face of like, are you seriously taking that and lumping it in with whether or not a governor of a state that is having to allocate millions of dollars to this university should say, hey, maybe this guy shouldn't be in charge of picking football coaches because it's not going well?
Hard to argue it when you look at what they're paying out after firing the last two.
It's only $54 million or so for this one.
Chump change. Taxpayers got it. Don't worry about it.
Taxpayers got it. No problem.
But isn't that the way the left thinks, people on the left? They're like, well, let the government pay for it. Fool, your money is what funds the government.
Now, you can always say, well, we fundraise off of that.
Okay.
All right. Fine. You can tell me all about that.
Ask Harvard about losing federal funding.
Yes, when they start to go, oh, this is a problem.
Major problem. So much so they did an about face on every one of their crazy leftist woke ideas.
But the look on the faces of everyone at that table of, did you really just bring up the idea of a Charlie Kirk statue?
Yes.
And crapped all over that before. Yep. As your starting point for saying that the governor should not. I can make a pretty simple argument. Should the governor be part in the decision making? Probably not. But now I'm going to make the argument. I'm not starting off with the fact that the governor, in the interest of talking about free speech, thinks that there should be a Charlie Kirk statue promoting free speech at a campus that should be a place for free speech.
Right. Because that's the reason you go to college, right?
One has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, they don't belong together. And that's the reason you go to college, to learn how to think, not what to think. He's part of the what to think crowd.
If you're talking about putting a statue out to acknowledge that a man lived and then ultimately was assassinated, was killed because of his beliefs that we should be talking to one another rather than not talking and shooting, that statue deserves to be anywhere that you would value free speech.
Absolutely.
That's the point. And yet, for it to start with Ryan Clark, it's like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
He doesn't represent any of the values of...
Or he embodies them all.
Or he embodies them all. Now, there's the other funny part, that Charlie Kirk also looked at college as being a scam. And so I get where I'd be like, well, let's make sure we put a statue out here of him.
But not because of the fact that you couldn't go there and learn. It's because, again, you were being taught what to think, not how to think.
Sure.
And the leftist politics that have infiltrated it. And people were told for 30 years to go get underwater basket weaving degrees, and you're guaranteed a job. We lied to kids. Or I say we didn't.
The industry.
The industry lied to families and children for 30 years. Is there a benefit to college? Sure, there is. But is it the only way you can make it in America? Absolutely not. And, dude, I'm nobody special. I dropped out 3 times. I need a statue for that.
Telling you, Dalton State couldn't hold you down.
That's right. They need to put a statue out there.
But that's the funny part about Ryan Clark. To think like his very first point came from a place of ignorance.
Yeah.
So that then he could loop it back over into a sports point. Like, clearly you didn't know anything about Charlie Kirk, and you certainly don't know what the belief in Charlie Kirk and how much young people believe and like Charlie Kirk.
Look at Ole Miss. It ain't that far down the road.
No.
That's how much he meant. Over half the student body at Ole Miss signed up to go to that rally that Erica Kirk and then ultimately
J.D. Vance were at.
Vice President Vance was. Over half the student body. Over half. Tell me that Charlie Kirk didn't mean a lot to kids that are that age.
Ton. The value of what he was bringing to the table.
But Ryan Clark is trying to convince me otherwise.
But Ryan Clark, all he has is just, well, here's what I've been told. Here's my view. Is there any point where and here's the fun part about people that are doing that work. I can sit at any table and have a sports discussion. I could walk right down the hall. We could walk right in and talk about last night's Hawks game or what Georgia doesn't do well or making a legitimate argument for Haynes King for the Heisman Trophy. Like, I can get into all those rooms and do that. I'm not sure one of them can come down here and talk about Charlie Kirk with any sort of level of knowledge. And
that's not what they keep up with.
And that's what Ryan Clark was starting at. That's where he was starting.
And he takes pride in not keeping up with it.
That's where that was his starting point. Like, let me get into these waters to make this sports point. Good luck with that.
Yeah, not a smart guy.
It's very simple. It's what we've said this to writers for a long time. I can do what you do. You can't do what I do. And that applies to me and Tug and Jeray. It's like, I can do what you do. You can't do what I do. And I'm doing it in a Cookie Monster head.
That's right.
All right?
We're talking serious politics, all while dressed as Cookie Monster and Shipwreck.
I always got a kick out of those columnists who wrote for the AJC. And they thought, especially when they were sports-oriented, they're like, I write for the AJC. I'm like,
okay.
It's not that impressive.
Okay.
I was like, I know that you're trying to get into radio. Nobody will hire you. I wonder why.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't seem to work out, does it?
Yeah. And those guys, and if I think that's what people like Ryan Clark is what ran off so many people from ESPN, because you and I and so many other people used to watch ESPN with regularity.
Every night.
Never missed it. Now, I understand the landscape has changed. I get that.
Everything's on your phone. All highlights and everything else.
Absolutely. But they could be entertaining. They could put together an entertaining show, and I would probably tune in for a little bit of it. But I know I'm getting Ryan Clark talking points from every show that's on ESPN. So I just don't even pay attention to it at all.
That is, and I just retweeted it out there, and Jeray put it out there on the Xtra account. That is Stephen A. Smith's face when Ryan Clark starts alluding to Charlie Kirk and whether or not there'd be a statue on LSU's campus. And he just looks at him like, what are you doing?
He was just like,
like, really? He's got his arms crossed, and his face is like, really, dude?
Like when you came home the first time when you're a 16-year-old driver and you told your daddy you got a ticket. That's the look.
That's the look.
You did what?
There is an air of disappointment, disgust, and wonder. Like, how could you be so dumb? How could you be this dumb?
So crazy.
Did you subscribe to this? Like, are you committed? Are you pot committed to this dumb?
Especially with Stephen A. Smith really putting his toes into the political water and talking and researching it and discussing it with regularity, because he's another guy that can do.
Yes,
he can do both.
And he stepped in it about a week ago.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
And found out pretty quick, all right, you better be pretty good at this. When he talked about how, well, Trump's coming after the NBA.
No,
I'm like, this is an investigation that started 2.5, 3 years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
But so you notice how that's been curtailed.
Gone.
He's like, nope.
Yeah, get me away from that. I stepped in it. I realize it. This is the Morning Xtra on Xtra 106.3. Rogan turned down another high-profile guest as we wrap up the Morning Xtra on Halloween in Atlanta.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 31st. Your college football weekend for the locals begins tomorrow afternoon. Fifth-ranked Georgia is in Jacksonville for their yearly matchup with Florida. Florida is unranked this season. This time around, that game will kick off at 3:30. As for 8th-ranked Georgia Tech, they're on the road taking on a 4-4 NC State team. That game will kick off tomorrow evening at 7:30. You can hear that game live on our sister station and their brand new app, 680 The Fan. As for the World Series, it could end tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays lead the series 3-2 over the LA Dodgers. Game 6 will begin with first pitch in Toronto at 8 o'clock. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Braves Country Convos is the newest official podcast of the Atlanta Braves. Join hosts Jory Palmer and Lauren Saad for some fun, lighthearted, and unexpected discussions as they interview guests with strong Braves country ties about the things that connect us all. Guests range from Braves alumni Charlie Culberson, MLB Network's Lauren Shahadi, and more. Visit Braves.com/podcast to begin listening to Season 1 wherever you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
This fall, the gridiron calls, which means you'll be road tripping to games across the South, and you'll need a reliable ride to get you there. And Subaru of Gwinnett has the vehicle for you. But a new car, truck, or SUV from Subaru of Gwinnett is about way more than just getting to the games. It's about getting the family home. It's about getting to work safely, but it's also about getting the most out of every adventure. If you're driven by an adventurous heart, the 2025 Subaru Outback shares your spirit with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Or maybe it's the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. It holds the road with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, and it holds everything you need for the tailgate. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and let your adventurous mind run wild. Then stop in for a test drive on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth.
Over the past 9 years, Stovall has raised over $400,000 for the National Breast Cancer Foundation through our Pinktober fundraiser. Join us again this October in supporting their mission for helping women now as they face breast cancer. All proceeds of our selection of pink plants, as well as 10% of all Rainbird irrigation sales, will be donated directly to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Customers can also donate in person at any Stovall location and receive a free gift. Visit any Stovall store or check out our website at StovallInc.com to find out more.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
You probably heard Relief Factor commercials where somebody says to his spouse regarding his pain, "You don't understand. It's gone." Well, Sharon told us that's exactly how she feels. She wrote to me and she said, "Glenn, Relief Factor has helped me so much. I plan on taking it for the rest of my life. I'm a walking testimonial." For me, it was more like Tanya twisting my arm to give Relief Factor a try. I heard about Relief Factor All Natural, created by doctors, blah, blah, blah. I really agreed to try it, not in thinking it would work. I just wanted to get her to stop telling me to do something and prove her wrong. Well, she was right, again, of course, and I got my life back. Not only did I not have to live in pain, I could thrive again. If pain has been holding you back, maybe it's time you found out why so many people, just like Sharon, just like me, make Relief Factor part of their daily routine. 2 out of 3 people who try it go on to order more month after month. I'm one of them. Try the 3-week quick start today. See how it works for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF. 800-4-RELIEF.
The Fan and Extra 106.3 are proud to salute all those who've served our great nation at our 2025 Veterans Day Golf Classic. Friday, November 7th at Heritage Golf Links. Join all your favorite Fan and Extra personalities for a day of golf, prizes, and fun, all benefiting our friends at the Warrior Alliance. Special thanks to Mizuno, Georgia Drive Chevy, First Watch, Scana Energy, Matthews Cafeteria, Crown Royal Canadian Whiskey, A1 Driveway Replacement, CA South, Patron Tequila, Surfside Iced Tea and Lemonade Vodka, and Weber Ranch Vodka.
Tug and Los until 10. Glad that this thing has gotten sold out, the golf tournament, but it is going to be so much fun.
Next Friday, y'all.
Next Friday, going to be huge. And lots of fun to be had by everybody, so get ready for that.
And if you just want to come and hang out,
you can do that.
You're welcome to.
I don't see why not. Come on. Everybody welcome. But yeah, as far as playing, things sold out. But thanks to all the sponsors, you just heard a list of them there. There's so many of them. There's like 30 or 35 of them. And just great companies that share your values, that want to be involved with things that you care about and you're involved in.
And for those of you that are taking part, just know that the Morning Extra has reached out to, I would just say, many of the politicians that we know that are trying to be a part of a lot of these races, and just said, hey, if you want to come by in the morning, stop by and meet some people.
Y'all come
So
on.
We'll see kind of how that plays out.
Yes, sir. If you have YouTube TV and you can't watch Georgia Tech this weekend, which is terrible.
I'm sorry.
So frustrating. You always can listen at 680thefan.com or on the new 680 The Fan app. It is always there and always available. They will never charge you, and they will never just disappear. What? You mean I'm paying for this, and all of a sudden, like, as of today, I can't watch the game that I want to watch?
There's no Braves baseball right now, and because contractually they get priority on everything. But once there's no Braves baseball, it's Tech. Tech is like right next in line. You get everything. So if it's a Tech game, Tech coverage, Tech pregame, Tech postgame, Tech coaches show, you get all of it through the app. Every bit of it.
That's where I would be consuming my Georgia Tech content if I were you, not rolling the dice with some of these crazy streaming platforms. Just doesn't seem like it would.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be a real pain to have to get it. And again, you can do it. It's not impossible. But you have to pick up another streaming platform
Cancel this one
for a weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So, however you want to do it, you do it the way you want to. But I'm just telling you, down the hall, exceptional work from the Georgia Tech Radio Network, which originates from our sister station, The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Joe Rogan has turned down another guest.
Well, I don't know if he's turned down, but that's the way that Gavin Newsom's trying to make this into. Now, let me be very honest, as somebody who does enjoy the Joe Rogan podcast. Joe Rogan routinely talks about Gavin Newsom butchering California. He talks about why he left. He's like, things got crazy in 2020. I don't want to be a part of it. He moved to Austin. Loves Austin, loves Texas, loves the freedom that was provided. And he puts so much of this on Gavin Newsom. He's like, it's messed up because of Gavin Newsom. Now, if you understand how the Rogan podcast works, he gets hundreds of people that want to be on his show.
Well, yeah, look at the exposure you get.
Yes, it's huge. And so he'll talk about how he'll have emails like, I got to get back to this person. Yes, I'd love to. And it's not just like it was Miranda Lambert. Okay. He'll also talk with a professor from MIT and another one from, I think it was like Harvard was the other. They were together talking about what's going on with the world
hoax.
And the climate hoax. So you don't have to be the biggest superstar. Sometimes it's just what is interesting to him. He's going to have you on. So Gavin Newsom's been angling to get on the show. And I think as it stands right now, Joe Rogan's like, why? Like, you're going to use my show.
What are you bringing?
You know, are you going to be honest?
What's the benefit for my listeners?
I mean, we had the moment that was earlier this week on, it was Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes' podcast. It's an NBA podcast. And you had Gavin Newsom go on there and start telling you about growing up hard and having to eat slices of Wonder Bread. That was food. And I was hustling. Like, your parents bought you a winery when you were 25.
My parents have never bought me a winery.
You didn't get a winery at 25?
I did not.
I didn't get a winery at 25.
I'm trying to think. Like my parents helped me buy a car. Does that count?
Yeah. My parents helped me out with college.
Yeah.
But the car thing.
Dude, but a winery? What's a winery cost?
Dude, he makes it sound like he grew up hard. And so, and that ended up falling on Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, that the community turns on them because, like, you let that joker on there and just sit and let him lie to you? Because
he made y'all look like fools.
Yes. Gavin Newsom, you would have to spend so much time taking apart the silly stuff that he's bringing up. Him talking about how, I was Joe Biden's biggest supporter. I completely backed him, and he was totally fine. You're like, really? Like, are we going to have to do this where I'm going to have to sit back and be like,
I've got to fact check you.
I'm going to have to.
I mean, I don't want to be an a-hole, but you can't come on my show and just lie about things and expect me just to roll over.
And that's the problem. That is the reason why I believe Joe Rogan is like, he doesn't have somebody in to kill him.
That's what they're used to, though. That's what they get with the networks.
Except for Sanjay Gupta. And he was nice for like most of the 3 hours. And then he's like, dude, why did your network take my video and make me look yellow like I was sick?
Yeah.
Why did CNN do that?
Which was so clever to wait to the end.
He waited for like 20 minutes. Then now we're getting down to it. So I want to play this because this is Gavin Newsom. This is a terrible idea because the strength of like the Theo Vaughns and the Joe Rogans and so many of the podcasters out there, you're reaching a male audience that typically can only be reached through sports. They are not accessible through other ways. Young male audience is podcasts and sports, and that is it. And Gavin Newsom decided to go after one of their icons.
He hasn't, for years and years, he's been attacking me, and it's one way, and he won't have me on. He's consistently not having me on. By the way, I'm moving on. I have no interest. You're
done with him?
Joe Rogan's the Facebook of podcasting. He was sitting across one of the brightest minds in podcasting right now. The guy was in the mic. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of people at the mic doing extraordinary things in podcasting.
Joe Rogan's got a pretty big audience still.
You know what? But with all due respect, if he has a big audience but he doesn't have big enough confidence, I didn't go there, to have me on.
Well, you've called him a chicken.
He's been attacking but here's the thing. These guys, they all have something in common. It's one way. They attack, they belittle, they demean, they take things out of context. But this is a serious thing.
Yeah.
And so often we just sit back and go, oh, God, I really would love to go on. Oh, if Kamala Harris just went on Joe Rogan, she would have won. It's not. It's so much deeper than that. And the unwillingness for a guy like that to even have the common courtesy to attack someone and not have the decency to say, you know what, why don't you have a chance to come on? Let's have a civil dialogue. I've watched you on podcasts with like Sean Ryan, who's a close buddy of his. He had the courtesy on me have 4 hours.
Right.
Sean Hannity, folks like that. And so if I can go on Sean Ryan and Sean Hannity, what are you worried about? Joe, you're going to cook me or I'm going to cook myself.
All right, so there's the fun part. He still wants to desperately be on because he knows how important it is.
I'm moving on. I have no interest.
But Sean Ryan had me on, and so
I'm moving on. I have no interest, but I'm pleading.
But why don't you have me on? His issue, and he calls it attacking. Joe Rogan just lays out, we've had $25 billion to fix the homeless problem here, and it's worse than it's ever been. He brings up just the stats.
Yeah.
He's not sitting there going personally after Gavin Newsom. He's like, you helped turn California for the first time in its history. There are more people leaving California than coming to California. That has never happened in the history of that state, yet it's happened for the better part of the last 5 years.
That's why Alex Michelson had this face as he's talking and listening to Gavin Newsom.
Like, yeah, okay.
Well, because it's the same, just like Stephen A. was like, oh my God.
Like, did you really just call him? Yeah. Now, the whole idea of the Facebook of podcasting, you're trying to make it sound like it's very old.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to disparage. So you're taking shots while the other guy won't have you on, or at least hasn't had you on. And when he talks about you, he strictly brings up that you've messed up the state he previously lived in and decided to leave.
Yeah.
That's his criticism of you. That's his attack. These guys, it's one way. What are you talking about? I brought up multitude of factual pieces of information, including the people in the Pacific Palisades are suing you and your government because you did not adequately take care of an issue like a fire that then burned down their homes.
And they still can't build back.
Because you will not issue permits through the state to do it. There's nothing that is an attack.
Gavin Newsom, man.
I guess truth can be an attack, right?
Yes, absolutely, it can be.
Light and truth is the best disinfectant.
That's right, but that's why they steer clear from it. That's why they want nothing to do with it, because the truth matters, and they don't have the truth on their side.
Wonder Bread. I was just eating a slice of Wonder Bread.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. God, so great. It's so dumb. It's great. Tug and Los, glad that you're here. Glad that you spent the day with us, and hoping you'll have a terrific evening with your family and friends, and just cut it up and let loose for the evening and the weekend. And we just want to encourage you to continue listening throughout the day. Beck, you got Clay and Buck, biggest show in conservative media, and then the Kimber Show. This afternoon, 3 until 6. We will be back here on Monday, and we hope y'all will come back. You hear?
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.